Well, hello everyone. Surprise, surprise. I know y'all probably didn't think I was going to show up tonight, but I am here. Hello everyone. I hit the like button, sub to the channel if you hadn't already. Hello, Miss Cherie Berry. How are you doing? So I came live tonight because I noticed that Donald Trump and his minions are trying to steal the election before it even gets started. And I said to myself, I needed to come on because it's very important that you all know about this. If you haven't all read, if you don't already know that Georgia has basically said that they were going to they have election deniers, and I think we talked about this a little bit. But Georgia did go ahead and vote it and said that we will go ahead and if the votes don't come out to our liking, basically we'll say we're not certifying the election. So watch this little clip, and we are going to jump right into it. Okay. So if you just joining us, hit the like button and sub to the channel, please. It's gonna be a bumpy ride from here on out with this election, because Kamala she's in that ass. Okay, all right, here we go.
Now, attacks on certifying election results have intensified since the 2020 election, and it is clear the ex-president is gearing up to have certification questions play a major role this time around. Over the weekend, Donald Trump called out the three Republicans on the Georgia State Election Board by name who ended up voting for this new rule.
I don't know if you've heard, but the Georgia State Election Board is in a very positive way. This is a very positive thing, Marjorie. They're on fire. They're doing a great job. Three members, Janice Johnson, Rick Jeffries, and Janelle King. Three people are all pit bulls fighting for honesty, transparency, and victory. They're fighting.
Fighting who? Fighting for what? Entire state election is administered by Republicans at the state level. Republican governor, Republican secretary of state. So again, why is he calling them out, and what is he talking about? What are they fighting against? Georgia passed its voter integrity law in 2021 despite the findings by Republicans that there was no widespread voter fraud in the state of Georgia during the 2020 election, that Joe Biden had legitimately won. They did 3 counts. So shouldn't they be bragging about the security and supremacy of their system? Said this multiple times, but I think you put the goings on in Georgia on the radar for us with your reporting there. Tell me what this board does to aid Trump. In Trump's mind, he's calling them out at his rallies.
Well, what they did yesterday is something that Trump and Republicans and his allies have been trying to do across the country. And that is take the process of election certification, which, as we mentioned, and as you mentioned at the top here, is something that's always been ministerial. And what that means is it's basically automatic. The law says shall, which means you must take election results. You go through the normal process of checking them that you normally would, and then you certify them and pass them on. These county officials are not empowered by these ministerial duties to conduct their own investigations or insert their own opinions on the validity of these elections. But a lot of Trump allies have been trying to do this across the country, as I reported a few weeks ago with my colleague Jim Brutenberg, but they haven't been successful. They've been trying to do this through courts. That hasn't gone anywhere. They've been trying to do this through just having local officials refuse to certify and see if that gets them some precedent through a challenge. That hasn't worked either. So what the State Board of Election did in Georgia yesterday was give that argument its first sense of validity. They are able to establish rules that local county officials all throughout Georgia are supposed to follow. they're not meant to be a lawmaking board. So it's highly possible that what they did yesterday is illegal and will be met with legal challenges, perhaps by some of the people also on this panel. But they gave an opening to this idea that certification is indeed discretionary at the local level. And what that could do, if we were to rewind the clock 4 years ago when former President Trump was trying to overturn his loss in 2020, and he was calling election officials in Wayne County, Michigan, county board members, in Wayne County, Michigan, saying, please don't certify. We were in an unknown about what that would do. Would that be able to forestall a loss? Would that be able to change things? So they're trying to bring this back in an effort that, to possibly short circuit a loss or anything like that, bring this question of certification into the realm of uncertainty. And that's what the Georgia State Board of Elections did yesterday.
Okay, so I was up this morning and I saw that, and I was just going through some news channels that are on YouTube, and I happened to see this, and I was like, damn, it's that deep. And it kind of scared me, no lie. I'm not going to lie to you guys. Right now, I am not in the best way, so to speak, because of this. And when people tell you that they're not going to vote, or, they don't believe in Project 2025 and all this other kind of madness, I'm telling you right now, this is Project 2025. This is Stephen Miller. These people are, sorry about that. These people are not playing. And just like Chris Roth said, thank you, Chris Roth. I think that's how you say your name. Said, thank you for covering this. It's also to be noted that this was tried last election. And at that time, our judicial system withheld. Hopefully, it will be sustained again if such actions occur again. And that is exactly what I thought when I saw this, because you know how the Supreme Courts are literally just in a free-for-all for the Republican Party. And I was thinking, I told my husband, I said, oh, these people, they are not playing. They are doing some serious stuff, and they've been doing it. It just hasn't just started. It didn't just start yesterday or Tuesday. It's been going on. And they've been stealing, taking control, getting put into offices, into places, high places, I should say, in the states where they're election deniers. And when I tell you, Donald Trump had his little speech today. Okay. You can look at him and tell that he's worried and he's scared. You can look at him and tell. So now he wants to debate Kamala 3 or 4 different times. Well, before it was, they only had to do it one time. That's it. But he wants to put out all these dates. So, which is all bullcrap. So this is a serious situation. So it is very imperative that you all check to make sure that you are registered to vote, because they're going to try and steal this election. We kind of already knew that was going to happen, but they are serious. They have people in place to deny this election. 70 people. So let me get into my little PowerPoint, I guess to say. Okay. All right, guys. So let's just get into it. Election deniers. If I blow this up a little bit. Okay. At his rally last Saturday night, Donald Trump praised 3 members of the Georgia State Election Board, calling them pit bulls fighting for honesty, transparency, and victory. Trump lavished praise and attention on these members of the obscure state agency by name: Ms. Janelle King, Janice Johnson, and Rick Jafaris. I think that's how you say his name. Yes, check weekly. Chris Rock is telling you to check weekly on your registration. And he is telling you the God's honest truth. This is serious. They're trying to take this election. They're trying to win this election. I mean, steal it. I'm sorry. Steal it. Janice Johnson, Rick Jeffries, Janelle King have refused to acknowledge that Joe Biden won Georgia in 2020. The board approved a new rule that seeks to expand the role and authority of county boards of elections. I'll read from over here, guys. In the certification process. This new rule redefines the certification process to include reasonable inquiry into whether the results are complete and accurate. The vote to adopt this new rule was 3-2, with the Trump endorsed members commanding the majority. Now, the three I just showed you, those are his endorsed members. The proposed rule changes will give authority to local election officials to halt the counting of votes and slow down or even outright refuse certification if they contend there are any irregularities. Sorry about that. Essentially making the certification of election results discretionary. This would essentially give partisan county board of elections personal control over Georgia's election results, allowing them to uphold certifying the election if they disagree with the results. The rule will take effect after 20 days, although it could be challenged in court. So hopefully they'll challenge this in court. I'm sure that they will. But just like Chris said, hopefully the courts will be on our side. Okay. Now I was watching Brian Tyler Cohen, and he has a weekly show with a lawyer on there. And this particular lawyer said that they were fighting this last year and the election time in 2020, I think 2020 and 2021, they were fighting it because, I'm sorry, 2021, because you got a lot of people, a lot of deniers out there, and they didn't want to certify. So they had to go in, especially in Arizona was one state I know. And so he was basically just saying, you know, the courts will be on our side, but this is still a dangerous game that we're playing. Okay. And this is very serious. Dozens of election conspiracies are serving in positions around the country that could help determine the outcome of this year's presidential election, according to a new report. Rolling Stone and American Doom identified at least 70 individuals working as county election officials in swing states like Arizona, Georgia, Michigan, Nevada, North Carolina, and Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania is a state that Kamala needs to win. She has to get that state. It's crucial. Right now in the polls, she's up. And on some polls they're neck and neck. In Georgia, they're tied. Okay, so Kamala has come very far in bringing up those numbers where they're neck and neck. He was actually winning. He was actually, you know, in a lead ahead of her. But right now they're tied in Georgia. I just read that little title or soundbite, whatever. Just read it. Okay, so these are the people that question the validity of Donald Trump's 2020 election laws or refuse to certify results, including at least 22 who refuse or delay the certification of election results in recent years. Certification of election results is considered a ministerial task required by state and local law. But the former president's lies about his loss nearly 4 years ago have resulted in Republicans using that process to hear spurious fraud allegations, and challenging the rules guiding certification. At this moment, there are no guidelines. Let me read that again. At this moment, there are no guidelines on what is required to certify an election in Georgia. That was written by David Hancock. And an election official in Gwinnett County, Georgia, on his Facebook page in late May. This is what he said, David Hancock. But some of us are working to change that. So stand by. So I'll research more on David Hancock and what's going on. I'll do that because we're going to continue to talk about this too. Republicans have refused to certify election results at least 35 times since Trump lost to President Joe Biden. And while none of those delays have held up in court, some lawsuits over the issue are currently before state judges. From the influence of calling for hand counts of ballots to the pressure to not certify an election, it's all connected to this broader effort to change the rules so that, if needed, election deniers can change the results of elections. And that was said by Lizzie Ulmer, a senior vice president at the States United Democracy Center. GOP, let me bring that down a little bit. Sorry. GOP state legislators have passed 22 bills aimed at so-called election integrity that Ulmer says takes away authority from election officials, increasing penalties for mistakes, and limits the ability to register voters online. So if you registered online or did anything like that, go check. Right-wing groups have already challenged thousands of voter registrations using an app created by election conspiracists. In 2020, there were 85 or so lawsuits filed concerning the election. Right now, there are more than 150 lawsuits currently in court, and about half of them are filed by vote suppressors or election deniers. Okay. Democrats and voting rights groups are fear that Republicans are laying the groundwork for Trump to dispute a Kamala Harris victory. We want to call her Kamala. Kamala all the time. Okay. So guys, this is a situation that we should be very, very concerned about. Let me put Chris Ross comment up here. For those just coming in, my check weekly means check your voter registration weekly. I'm in North Carolina and they are shady. And they are shady here. So y'all remember that. If you registered online, check. They are doing whatever. And Governor Kemp in Georgia, because I live in Georgia. But Governor Kemp, Trump talked about him so bad. And yet Governor Kemp is not doing anything, nor is Raffensperger. They haven't said anything. I haven't heard anything. I was kind of researching and everything, and they haven't said or done anything to my knowledge. So, it's appalling. They're taking away your freedoms right now as we speak. And they are fighting against, this is voter suppression at the end of the day. So you guys, look, this is, so I had a theory when I saw this. I said to myself, we're back on the chessboard. Okay. And Joe Biden talks about this as well. So let me say this to you. What I think is going to happen is that Joe Biden is going to step all the way down. This is just my theory. This is just my opinion. Let me put my banner up here. I believe that he's going to step down, and he is going to make Kamala Harris president of the United States. Because if this is going to, if you have these election deniers in these places, 70 of them, who will most likely deny the election, she will already be president. Okay. And it's going to take a while for them to do what they need to do. It's going to have to go to courts, you know, it's going to go through a whole process. That may take months. Donald Trump, in his mind, thinks he's still president because he still believes that he won. Well, that's the lie he's telling everybody. And so the election deniers believe that Donald Trump actually won. So that's my opinion, okay, that Joe Biden is going to step down right before the election. And he's going to make Kamala the president, okay? That's what I think. I think that's what's going to happen. I think that's part of playing chess. Chris Roth, not my governor, but Shapiro will not let this happen in Penn. We hope not. Natasha apologized, but he is a strong force for our movement. Okay, what are you talking about? Hey, Marcella. So I'm gonna go ahead and drop a link. If Chris wants to come up, more than welcome. Marcella, if you would like to come up and talk about this, because what's going on in your state in Virginia, more than welcome to come up. So, you know, I saw this and I thought to myself, oh, we're about to play chess again. This is what we're about to do, because Donald Trump, and like Chris said, they've been doing this. It didn't just start with it didn't just start with Georgia. Now, I heard about it on Tuesday when it happened, and I was thinking to myself, well, you know, we're going to get out and vote. But if you have these election deniers sitting here, it means we need to really, really, really put our foot down. And we have to be winning by thousands. It can't be 13,000. And how many did Joe Biden win here by? You needed to find 1,100 votes or whatever Donald Trump said he needed to find it in a certain county to, you know, certify the election so he could win a certain county here or something like that. But it's already going to be madness, guys. It's going to be scary. It's going to be madness. They are trying to steal your vote. This is basic. And they can throw out your votes. So this is what they're trying to do. They're going to try to throw out certain votes. And probably the ones that you're doing online as well. I have no idea how that's going to go down, but I'm telling y'all right now, y'all need to go out here. Y'all need to make sure you are registered. And like Chris said, make sure you check every week. Because I even read something in Texas, and I was telling my aunt about it, and she said, oh no, I know I'm registered to vote, but now I see you have to check every week to make sure, because you might get there on that day thinking you're going to vote, and they're going to tell you no. So check every week, guys. Please spread that word and let people know y'all got to be out here checking, because they are trying to take your vote. And when people tell you that, oh, no, I'm not voting, blah, 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 you're dealing with voter suppression. You're dealing with ignorant people. These people, Donald Trump and his cronies, and that Stephen Miller guy, that little demon, they are not playing. Stephen Miller is evil. I think even worse than Trump. They are not playing. And you know whose votes they're coming for? They're coming for our votes. People of color, disenfranchised people who get out and vote. They're going for our votes first. The defiant lawyer said that groups of attorneys are going to be at the polls and volunteer to fight the shenanigans. Oh, great. That's good to hear. Where'd you hear that at? Learning to love myself. I like that. So yeah, I truly believe that that's what's going to happen. I believe that he's going to step down. Joe Biden is going to step down, and he's going to put Kamala there because they're going to deny those votes. Okay. And Kamala will already be president. So I think that's what's going to happen. We won't have to worry about her voting her, but she'll win anyway. I believe she will win anyway, but I definitely believe they will put her in position to be there to fight it. Because, he is a YouTube CC channel, The Defiant Attorneys. He's great. Okay, thank you. So, yeah, I just wanted to come out here and say that and let give y'all some information about what was happening. And you must vote blue all the way down because they have to change the House. They have to change and make sure the Senate stays blue. But the House needs to become blue. So this way, Kamala will be able to pass the bills and the laws that she wants to pass for the greater of us, the greater of all people. And this is what she's saying. They're trying to work with everybody. Everybody needs a chance here. Okay, remember when I said Monday, we have to stay positive, but we also have to fight, right? We have to exhale, get out there, stay positive, talk to everyone. Just let them know this is what's happening, guys. And especially Black people, they're trying to stop you from voting. So the ones that get, that are windmilling for Donald Trump, they can windmill for him, but your vote is being suppressed. At the end of the day, they're suppressing your vote because of who you are. It's going to be the disenfranchised people. I'm telling y'all, people that live in certain areas. In Georgia is blackety black. Okay. And especially Atlanta, the Fulton counties, the DeKalb counties, Gwinnett County, those Black areas. Those are people of color all over here. And Gwinnett, DeKalb, Decatur, Fulton. I don't know if Decatur is a county, but I think it's DeKalb. So Gwinnett, DeKalb County, and Gwinnett County, I know helped turn Georgia blue when Joe Biden ran. We got to start talking. Marcella, I wish you would come up and talk about the finance and what happened in the stock market. Let me say this. When I said to you guys, the stock market always goes up and down, okay? All the time. It's going to be okay. Don't let them brainwash you by telling you, oh, we're going into a recession. Oh, that's what Donald Trump is saying. We're going into the recession and crime rate is high and, you can't buy bacon. It's a lie. That's all a lie. That's a lie. And let me tell you, if you remember when Donald Trump was in office, gas was low because nobody was driving. No one was going outside. No one was doing anything. We were stuck in the home. We're stuck in the house. Okay. Doing what? Drinking, eating, getting fat, dancing around. Didn't know if this was going to end or not. You understand what I'm saying? That's what Donald Trump and people that passed away because he told them to drink what? Clorox, right? Oh, it's going to end in May when the sun come out. He had no solution to the problem that is COVID-19. He had nothing. So if you think about putting this man back in office and you think you're in a recession now, right? If he gets back in office, you're damn sure going to be in a recession. You will be in a depression. Also, it's been impossible in my circles, but if anyone seems on the fence, talk about Project 2025, authoritarian government versus a party that has candidates that gave school kids free meals. Yes, we talk about Project 2025 over here too. You should jump on the panel. We talk about it on Sundays or Mondays. I just saw when Kamala win, she will get sworn in on MLK Day, and Ketanji Brown would be swearing her in. Do y'all know how historic that would be? Yes, but I think she's going to be in sooner. They have been predicting a recession since Biden took office. He has the best stock market. Exactly. Thank you. Support LGBTQ, free college under 80K. Exactly, Chris. Gotta support. We have to support everybody because it's about everybody. LGBTQ community, they know that they are in that Project 2025 will affect their civil rights. It's going to affect our civil rights. They know that. I can't, but we'll go back. On Sunday, I will be here to talk about Project 2025. I promise you guys. I'm going to open it up and we're going to start going through it again. So yeah, we'll get it because it gets deep. You know, it gets deeper and it gets crazier. So just be prepared because mentally it's a I don't know. It's strange to me that we're living in 2024 and people still have these ideas that we should be back 50 years ago. Or 70 years ago. Yeah. Trump will sell America to the highest bidder. He already did that. He got his 10 million for that, didn't he? I remember riots every day, no toilet paper, and the National Guard testing us for the coronavirus. It was like a science fiction movie. Right. We didn't know if we were going to get out of the situation. We were stuck. So when they talk about when Donald Trump talks about how great his economy was during that time, or when people come to you and say, "Oh, it was good when Trump was in office. Gas was $1.85." Yeah, I'm sure it was. I don't remember it being $1.85. I think it went down to 2 something, but it wasn't $1.85. I don't remember that. But anyway, I didn't get outside much, and then when I went to go buy toilet paper, good luck with that. You know, half of us was wiping our asses with like one little piece of paper. Make sure you know, taking showers to clean our ass. See, this is, you know, Donald Trump's world. He's a liar and he's a cheater, right? But like, what's the name said? What is her name? Can't even think of her name right. Nene from Real Housewives said, "You can't win when you play dirty." So we got to get out there. We have to talk to everybody, everyone. Ask them, are you registered to vote? It's imperative because Trump puts 70 election deniers in office, in places to deny your votes. Okay, you got to let people know. I was flabbergasted when Fox put out an article posing the question, is America really ready for a female president? I'm like, why is this even a question? Yes. You know, faux news is just full of it. And I think Miss Faulkner, is that her name? The black lady that's on there. Very pretty, distinguished looking woman. I think she's pretty. I don't think she's going to vote for Donald Trump, to be honest with you. I just don't see her doing it. I see her, you know, playing her role, getting her check, but I don't think she's going to vote for him. I don't understand any of these people like Megyn Kelly. She no longer works for Fox News, but to make statements about the VP candidate, Tim Walz. I think some of the stuff that she says is very just rude, because Red Labels living in Minnesota knows that he has a great governor, right? I didn't realize he was that great. Cool guy. Very, very nice guy. Very cool, down to earth man. I like him. He's normal, right? He is your good old Western, Midwestern guy. I like him. He's a normal guy. He doesn't walk around. He doesn't seem uppity. He just seems like around the way, just type of dude, like your neighbor. That's the kind of neighbors you want. Thank you, Chris. Chris says subscribe. I like the smaller audience versus the bagillion subscriber channels. Oh, thank you. Thank you for joining. You can get your voice heard and, or your comment seen. Yeah, Harris Faulkner. Yeah. So you say you don't see her doing it. I don't see her doing it because remember when she was at the black reporter sit down with Trump, interview with Trump, and you heard her go, "Oh my God." And I said, "Oh, she's not voting for him. She's not voting for him." That was her saying that. So I just knew, I said, that he won't get her vote. I mean, I'm gonna give it 100. When Joe Biden said, "You ain't black if you vote for Donald Trump." No, you're not. Something is off with you. If you are a person of color that is voting for a blatant racist, something is off. Something is off. And the black woman who's the denier, election denier here in Georgia, I was like, I could tell by her name that she was. I knew it. I said, it's always, we always have to be part of something to feel good about ourselves, to be included in the madness. I would have said, not today, Satan. You will not be trying to overthrow anything here, right? It's not fair. I don't care if you don't believe that Joe Biden won the first time, right? This is a whole new election, And you hear Donald Trump, words come right out of his mouth. Black jobs. They're bringing diseases. He's not talking just about, Venezuela and Mexico. He said Africans are bringing diseases, messing up their country. Africans. Who come from Africa? It's always black and brown people that this man is attacking. Always when they're coming here. This is not a game to be played. It is not. This is serious. We know that Kamala is ahead right now, or she's tied, even Stephen, with this fool. We understand that. That's what we see. But you cannot believe the polls all the time, right? No, you can't. So it's imperative that we talk to, and I'm going to keep telling you, I'm going to keep saying, talk to everybody, learn about it. I'm learning as I go as well. I'm learning just like you all as I go. And I talk to my husband about politics. My husband is very, when he gets into politics, he knows what he's talking about. So we talk together. I learn things from him. He learns things from me, And as we go, I'm just like, this is scary. So when I got up and I heard this morning about the election deniers, I'm just like, okay. Because I heard it maybe early last week when Maddow was talking about it. And I talked to my husband about it. He said, well, yeah, that's not going to work. They're not going to pass that through. And then I said, and then I read the Georgia one. I was like, okay, this is getting real for me. So let me pass it along Y'all have to vote. you have to talk to people, guys. My anxiety is getting bad when it comes to this kind of stuff. For real. I'm not lying to you. Real Label says we are having a neighborhood blackout here since Tim is on the ticket. Well, that's like a party. Megyn Kelly is a jealous widow. Look what she did to Tamara Hall. Yeah, I don't like her. You would think after having to pay almost $1 billion in a defamation case, they would be more honest. They don't. The only thing that they don't do is show his rallies anymore, making sure everyone is registered. Okay, awesome. I like that. Fox makes more money if a Democrat is in the White House. They got rich because all the hate they put out on Obama. He think all blacks are criminals. Yes, he does. Absolutely. Those shithole countries, he said. Yep, that's what he said. Nope. Vote, vote, vote. Polls lie. That's right. Learning to love myself. The polls do not always tell the truth, right? So we can keep hope on this shoulder, but we got to also keep a little bit of anxiety and fear on this shoulder, okay? Because we are in the fight for our lives. We are in the fight for our lives, all right? This is real. This is not play. If I may say, my YouTube feeds me a few black content creators, and I can't understand why they vote for Trump. They all stick with inflation and prices. Okay, so let me respond to that. One thing that I find with Black Americans is not all, but some is, and y'all know I love my people, but I might have to say this. They're looking for a handout. And so when Trump gave out the stimmy check, now we know he didn't do it. So that's a whole nother lie that we have to rebuttal, that he didn't give out the stimmy check. We know that the Democrats are the ones who came up with the idea. Trump didn't want to do it. He said, the only reason I'll do it if you put my name on it. Now, I remember that because I thought to myself, what difference does it make if he puts his name on that check or not? Like, people ain't gonna remember that, so what? To my surprise, they remember that. And it's like, Donald Trump, he gave me a stimmy check. And it wasn't even like, it wasn't a lot. You know, it was, what, $1,200? But to some people, that's a lot of money. I understand that. And during that time when, you know, there were no jobs, people weren't working because of 19. So that $1,200, it helped some. Some took it and did the right thing with it. Others took it, especially down here in Georgia, and went and bought Louis Vuitton, Gucci, because the lines, when they opened up the stores, the lines were like, you know, out the door because they were shopping. Okay. And they were getting these loans, fake, you know, loans with their fake companies and all that kind of stuff. They were doing a lot of stuff. And now what's happening, and this is part of the recession. Okay. People literally, these companies, these apartment complexes, this is why rent is high, because these people weren't paying their bills. They were living for free for months. Okay. They got that check. They did not pay their rent like they were supposed to. And that Miss Chick-fil-A who sit up there, she's probably the main one that didn't pay her rent when she got a stimmy check. All right. I wouldn't doubt it because she looked like the type. No. But they don't understand how inflation works. I could make a page about this. You should, because they don't understand. He is not going to win. He's a convicted felon. They will have to change the law to let other convicted felons vote. I just don't see the powers that be allowing that to happen. Then why is he running, Red? Why is he running? Why did they even allow him to run if that's the case, knowing that he would get elected? You know what I'm saying? Why is he running? Why are the Republicans allowing him to run? Because guess what? He shouldn't be running, but he can run as a convicted felon. But why does he get to be in the position where he is, where he picks a VP and everything? That's crazy to me. I don't understand that. And he's about to be convicted in September. So I don't understand it. You understand what I'm saying? He gets his sentencing date in September. And then he has a whole nother case. Then he has the Florida case, like you said. Then he has the Georgia case. He's a felon. So I don't understand, why is that possible? Because he can't vote. But guess who said he was going to allow him to vote in Florida? DeSantis. So he gets the vote. But they arrested other people who served their time, right? And thought that they could vote because they got papers telling them that they could vote in Florida. And they got arrested because DeSantis went out there. This is the hypocrisy of the Republican Party. It is disgusting, and it is despicable. Okay, they are dirty players. So that's why I said we about to play chess. And I'm telling y'all, they are going to put that doggone Kamala Harris in office right before the election. So Democrats voted for the stimulus, and he only agreed if he could put his name on it. Exactly. Biden gave me checks in 2021. Yeah, the Supreme Court is bought and paid for. Yes, they are. He shouldn't be on the ticket. Donations to pay his attorney fees. Laugh out loud. Yes. So the Republicans will never. Hold on. Oh, this is what I was trying to show. The Republicans will never recover from this. They are deplorable. They never will. This is why I said they will probably, most likely, it'll take another 16 years. When Kamala wins this race, it'll take 16 years before they get put back in office, because they're going to have to build their whole, they have to, trust me, because she's going to serve 8, definitely. But they're going to have to build a whole coalition of new Republicans, because a lot of them are getting old. They'll be stepping down because nobody's going to vote for them. When it comes down to it, they're not going to vote for those people in the House. They're going to be like, thank God Marjorie Taylor Greene won't be around. I hope and pray that she will not be around, because I'm tired of looking at her caveman looking self. And just look. They're not going to make it. The Republicans, when this election is done, when it's done and said, and Kamala is president of the United States, and Governor Walz is VP, hopefully he'll step up. Maybe Shapiro will step up, and one of those two will be president. Because right now we're at a good place in this, for the Democrats. I didn't even know these people. I didn't know anything about Shapiro. I didn't know anything about Tim Walz. He's so good with connecting to people. That's what they needed, a connection. It's like Obama all over again. You feel energized, you feel good. And some of our cousins out here acting a plum fool. I don't understand it. I don't know. I don't know. Are they getting paid? Or are they just doing it to give clicks and views? And sometimes I believe some of the stuff that they're saying, they just want to get clicks and views, right? That's why a lot of them are on there. Because I know one in particular that does this for a click and a view, but he ain't down with the bull crap. Y'all know who I'm talking about, my nemesis. But I'm telling you right now, that dude is not with the bull crap, because we have talked and chatted on the back end of IG, and he ain't with it. He ain't with the madness. So I don't understand, but I understand he gets up there because he makes money on YouTube by doing it. I love how the Republicans are walking up. Oh, waking up. Yes. We need to win. We have judge seats on the Supreme Court to pick. If Trump wins, Alito and Thomas said they would retire so he can appoint more MAGA judges. Yeah, we know that. We know that's going to happen. We in trouble. It's going to be a whole problem if that happens, but I don't think it's going to work. I respectfully disagree. Biden will serve out his term and Kamala will take office after the next election. Chris, that's perfect. I'm okay with that. But I think, I don't think he's going to serve it. I had the same debate with a good friend of mine, and she's big time in politics. She loves politics too. And she's like, let me tell you what's going to happen. And I had happened to hear that from someone else that was on Don Lemon's show. And someone that's in politics. And he was saying, well, he's probably like a political, somebody that talks politics too. And he was saying that the same thing. And so when I have the conversation with my friend, I was like, well, why would they do that? Because they want to be the first party to put in a female. I said, well, they're going to do that through the election. No. To secure the seat, they would put her in. And I thought to myself, you know what? You're right about that. That's what's going to happen because they want to be the first to put a female into office. Because now you have a female that's running. This is before all this election stuff, denier stuff. We haven't even talked about that yet. But when you have a female, because now you have a female that's running for office and she's so, it's like history making, right? And the vibe is different from when Hillary was running. And so it's like the energy has shifted and it's good. And it's hope again when Obama was running for office. And so when you listen to Kamala speak, you feel like you feel energized, you feel good inside. You feel like finally, I could get some of the monkey off of my back because I feel like I've been the gloom and doom, the way that Trump always talks about, it's just too heavy. It's too heavy on everyone's shoulders. It's too heavy on the country. It's just heaviness all the time, negativity. And when she comes out, she's talking about hope and prosperity and love and, love your neighbor and all this kind of stuff. And we're going to get this and we're going to take back our rights and we're going to fight. We're going to win. And it's just energizing feeling that you feel so good inside. And that's what I think that we need. And I think that, and I say all that, Chris, to say, if she doesn't win and Trump gets into office, he's going to probably put Ivanka up. Somebody's going to come in, another female is going to run, and that female has the possibility of winning, right, on the right side. If she gets a chance to vote or run for office. Because I think, Project 2025 is so deep rooted. And I don't think that Trump will last 4 years. If you saw him today, if he wins, I doubt if he wins, but if he wins, that man, I don't think he's going to make it 4 years. I really don't. I don't think he's going to be around in 4 years. And he looks beat down. He's not even on the campaign trail right now. This man is at home chilling. He came out to tell everybody, give a little speech today because he is, he's scared. And you can see it in his face. Like he just looks worried and he looks scared. I don't feel sorry for the man at all. You dish out the mess. Now the universe is returning it, giving you back the favor that you gave to everybody. Hey, Mel. So I think that with him, his energy, it's not good. Right. You can look at him and tell his energy is going down. And so all he can ever talk about, right, is numbers and crowds. Right. All he talks about are the crowds. That I had more people than Martin Luther King. What? They said Martin Luther King had what, 1 million people show up at the Lincoln Square. Is that what it's called? Lincoln Square in Washington. He said when he did it, when he won the presidency, he had more than Martin Luther King. Everybody know that's a lie. But this man only thinks numbers. Kamala only had 2,000 people show up, and I had thousands, 20,000 people showed up. When they can only fill, the arena was only 10,000. It's a lie. This man only thinks numbers. He only thinks about himself. You can see it in his face. Y'all go back and watch the videos. I didn't even know he was going to have a press conference today. Right. And I just happened to go over to Brian Tyler Cohen's channel. I follow him. He's good. That guy is good. And I was watching and I was like, oh, I didn't know Trump was live. Because he's not on the trail and they're wondering what's going on. Man, you want me to drop the link? So, yeah. So I was just saying that to say, talking to Chris, I was just saying that because I just believe there's a great possibility that they will put her in office. But we'll see. And I hope that you are here because, if it happens, I'm going live and everybody named Mama gonna go live. But please come over here. Don't go over to those channels with all the thousands and thousands of subs watching. Come over here. We're gonna have a great discussion. And you know what I'm gonna do? I'll pop a bottle of champagne. Right. Because you know me. Let's see. I do like how Biden stepped down. He played them. He did. He nominated Kamala, and after she took off, whoever they wanted to replace Biden was toast. Exactly. Hey, Mel.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. How you doing?
I'm good. I just got home. I saw that I missed the show. But yeah, I heard what you said. I would tell Trump, listen, don't let the big crowds fool you, because the simple fact is, just because the crowds ain't as big for her doesn't mean they won't be that big on election day. And I think that's probably why he out there, as you've said in this title, trying to control the people and always planning ways to cheat. I mean, my God, damn. It's
always.
Come on. I mean, you know what? I was thinking about this. I had a conversation with somebody earlier, and I know you probably feel this way too. It's tiresome. It's almost been 20 years. This man has been on the national, stage before he's even, in office. And it's just like, damn, I'm tired of talking about him. I really you get fatigued just to think about all the things he think about. I can understand he must feel tired to be the way he is, because I'm tired of listening to all his scams and schemes. I was listening to people earlier who, voting for him, and they say, because, I don't believe in the trans this, I don't believe in the pregnancy situation, all this kind of stuff. And I was like, at the end of the day, this country has a lot of issues. And I'm not saying that we're going to solve these issues before November. I really don't believe that. We've had issues for over 400 years in this country. But what I'm saying is, and I said it last week, and I said to them, that I want to go to the table to talk about those issues with somebody, again, who did not tell my community to drink bleach. I'm not going to go to this person. I see Trump. I truly see in my heart him as a national terrorist. Yes. He is trying to destroy the country that I'm not even sure if he was born here, or his wife wasn't. So he's just trying to take down the country. It's all about money for him, and it is about crowds, because he's still got in his head he's the man on The Apprentice firing people, and it's all about show business. It's not really about people's lives.
Right.
So, it's I'm happy with how the vice president and her pick is going and what's going on. And I'm excited about the movement. I'm excited about the polls. I'm excited about the fundraising. So there has been good news. That's been good. Mm-hmm. But just him on the side, like a little cartoon character weasel, just sort of doing these little annoying things all the time. I'm like, damn, Jesus Christ.
I know. It's annoying to even listen to him speak.
It is.
Right. I just every time I hear him, just roll my eyes. Like, this man is just so, yeah, he's so negative all the time.
And
You
now,
know,
well, not just not. I was going to say this too, and I'm going to let you because I want to hear what you have to say. You know what I've heard too, because I've listened to other conservative, black conservative channels. That's kind of I shouldn't do it, but I do early on and when I'm, to stuff. Um, People are now talking, as you said. I think you said it here. They're talking about the race. They're talking about what she is, what the. I can't believe people in our own community, and I would say in the African American community or the community of people who have been under attack for 8 or 20 years, however many years this man been talking nationally. Why does that matter? Again, at the end of the day, why is it this year that we have this strong need, or some people have a strong need to believe in a perfect politician? That does not exist. That does not exist.
right?
Now, the thing is, they have all these concerns and all these issues. Do they really think that Trump is going to be the solution to their problems?
Yeah.
Well,
That's what I was telling Mr. Chris. That, they really believe, especially black people, they got a check. And a lot of these people, they got a STEMI check, and all they can think about is STEMI check. And I think and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think, black folk, some feel like, they just want a handout. And it's almost like, our people suffered. We should be getting reparations and blah, blah, blah. Now I believe in reparations because I believe in if your ancestors had land and that land was stolen from them, they should be getting their land back. I believe that. I believe in, black people having the same opportunities as everyone else in this country.
Absolutely.
I believe that.
Yes.
But I also believe that you have to get out there and you have to work for it, right?
You got to believe in yourself.
You have to believe in yourself.
You got
So
to.
I say that because yesterday in Atlanta, and I know everybody's talking about it.
Yeah.
The hair weave store, the Chinese store, got evicted. It was somewhere in Georgia, somewhere close to Atlanta. At the same time, a club there was an eviction at a club. And what they did was they put all their stuff outside. And so everything that was in the hair weave store, all the hair weave, the whatever, whatever they have at the beauty supply store. I don't know why I call it the hair weave store, but you know what I'm talking about, the beauty supply store. There's a bunch of stuff. And they were showing these people on the news. And they were talking about, it's a recession. It's hard out here. It's hard out here. They should be giving this to us. And I'm like, it's hair. You could see the hair all over the ground. And, I want to take it. I don't know why they won't let us take it. They pulled out the dump trucks and stuff, and the police came out. The police came out in droves and literally was surrounding the product.
They were surrounding like it was a piece of gold?
Yes, because
no.
They didn't want the people to take the product.
Oh, okay.
And so they interviewed probably about 5 people that I saw. And it was just like, it's hard out here. They should be giving this to us. Why would you dump this stuff? This is free stuff. Why can't we have it? And it was just like, but it's not your stuff to have. And I started kind of getting irritated by it because it's like, this is what I'm talking about. I'm like, you know what? I get so tired of seeing people like that on the news. And I know they're out there because it's every race, right? But when you see it, when it's black people, it's just like, y'all can't be serious. It's a recession. What does a recession have to do with you getting your hair done and and all this other kind of stuff? We like to wear. One girl said, "We are black women. Our hair is our crown. They should be giving us this stuff for free. All they gonna do is throw it away." You should see the video.
I'm gonna look it up when we finish. I mean, it sounds like what was that show in Living Color skit? With people out there.
And that's what my husband said. He said, "This is real. This is not a skit, Sonny.
Uh-oh.
This is not a skit. This is real." And so I was like, this can't be real because this is crazy. And then it's national news. I think it's national news now.
And I bet you
Everybody's
those are
talking
saying,
about it.
and no shade to the people. I bet you, but I bet you they'll be the same people like the sexy red. They'll be like, I got to go out there and get another stimulus check. You see, because
That's my whole point.
my
And
God.
so that's my whole point. So when
Mm.
you have people, and then when you read the comments in the video, yeah, they should be just giving it to the people. What's wrong with that? It's not theirs. It's not theirs to get. It's not theirs. And can you imagine somebody getting an old perm that they done took from this little ground or whatever, from the what was thrown out, put it in their hair fall out. Now they want to go sue somebody. You see what I'm saying? So, but it's real. That's why they don't give away food. That's why they always throw away food, like at Walmarts and stuff like that. They get rid of that stuff.
Yeah.
You know, and it may not even be that old. It may be 2 or 3 days before the expiration date, but they throw the stuff away and they don't give it to the homeless just because the possibility of being sued.
Well, you know what? First off, that's funny. I haven't looked this video up, but you said it. So you know what? And maybe they just not informed because sometimes these products, and you just said it right, because up here in New York City and Connecticut in our region, we've had a lot of issues with the produce and also with the cold cuts. Unfortunately, some people, I've been laughing. Somebody died because of the something they had to recall. It's been very serious. So yeah, I think that these people, unfortunately, whoever they are, they need to inform themselves that some of these products are malfunctioning. You don't want to burn up your skin. I think it was a woman on TikTok that went viral where she was doing her perm and she just messed up her whole face and skin. And you don't want to take you should. I mean, it makes common sense not to take something off the ground and put it on your skin. Like know if a crazy person put something in there, so.
And then you don't know how long that product is, how old that product is. You don't know how long it's been sitting on the shelves because apparently this man owed $15,000. He was back rent $15,000. And so you don't know how old that stuff is. And you can't just be putting the chemicals in your hair and all that kind of stuff. You just don't know because it's old product probably. But they just felt like they should be able to take it.
But I want to talk to that
it just made me feel like, are y'all serious? Like, this is crazy.
So I remember when I was younger, and I remember it was a course or something. A woman, she was a wonderful teacher, and she had talked about. She had said this, and I'm trying to say the way she said it. She said, "What if life in America was a racing track, and on that track you had one group of people who had a little fanny pack around them, and on their track, that track was nice and bouncy and beautiful, and you could just run and skip down. And on our track, the track of people who was enslaved and brought here, our track was filled with holes. It was all messed up. We had no shoes on. We had big old backpacks of stuff on our backs, on our sides, and we had to do the same thing as the person on the other track. Now, our lives as Black people or people who are under attack is that way in America. Some people go, oh, well, you should just be able to go to school. And no, our road is actually messed up. And it's been that way for over 400 years. Now, it's a miracle that we can get what we can, whether it be in music or in business or whatever. But we never forget that our road has never changed all these 400 years. There's always been holes in it. It's always been messed up. And we're always wearing 200 pounds on our backs. And so it's always kind of crazy when people on the other side who don't have that burden, it is a burden. Right. They go, well, you should just be able to come up and raise up and do. And no, our roads,
by your bootstraps.
Our roads are different. And it was that way for 400 years. So then that trauma that I love Miss Toni Morrison, she talks about in all her books, and also to Alice Waters, the woman who made Color Purple. They talk about the trauma of that experience, of that sort of unfairness. And then, of course, it shows up as you saw in these people, because I've talked to people who, think about stimulus or whatever, around. And it's just because, their grandparents and then their parents, it's there. I don't blame them. They are my brothers and sisters. They are brothers and sisters. But, some people was like, you know what? They were able to visualize, I am on this road. It's not fair, but damn it, I'm going to keep on pounding so I can not embarrass myself. Right. Some people like, I'm on the road. It's messed up. It is unfair. And I'm just going to go out there for my free perms, my free cheese, and whatever else I get my hands on, because this is what I've been born into. Dear God, why me?
Right.
I don't know why, but I do know that our roads are, one thing we can't change is not been different. So when the president's when these people get in office, we hope that they pave our roads and take the weight off our backs, so that way we can live the lives like other people who live here. So when people talk about microaggressions and stuff like that, I laugh at them. I'm like, wait a minute, my road is not, because I never forget, I forget the teacher. She was a wonderful older lady. She's a wonderful teacher. And I forget this woman at the college here, and it was something I'll take with me to this day. I was like, yeah. When I talk to people about race and stuff, I talk about the roads. With the way she told me, the roads are different. I mean, one road, and that road is with Black people, Miss Sunny, gay people, immigrant people, because she included other people who had the same burdens. Now the burdens were different, but with some people on the roads with holes in it, no shoes on, and 200 pounds on your front and your back and then on your head. She just put the weight on you. And on the other side, they had a little fanny pack. So that's just what life is. That's what life is.
That's what life is. So Chris said, as a Democrat, and I believe he's talking about Kamala. I be want to call her Kamala so bad. That's why I'm always like, Kamala. As a Democrat, does she, being Black, Asian, Pakistani, make her more qualified than her history? I'm asking you now.
Well, I'm reading it right now.
Okay.
As a Democrat, does she, being Black, Asian, Pakistani, make her more qualified than her history? Make her more qualified. I mean, I guess so. I would think that she is, in my opinion, she's definitely qualified for the job. She has experiences to draw from, and even I think it does. I do. I think that, in my opinion, it does. I think that when I listen to other interviews she's done, because I went a deep dive, and she talked about being the one and only, being one of the few minorities in these different law firms and different places where she'd worked in the government to start becoming the DAs and all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It was just one of her there, and all that stuff was going on, the racism, the microaggressions and stuff. And she didn't want to be the, as they call it, the angry Black woman or the angry woman of color, defending herself. So that's where the laugh came in, and she became very focused on her work. So based on her experiences and how she was brought up and what she had to deal with on the roads, the different roads that we are on, I think anybody who when you make it to the top, you do become more qualified, in my opinion.
I think.
But I would say another thing too. But this election, I want to make it very clear. I'm not voting based on race. I mean, I think that I'm just not. I'm just voting because the two people on the ballot, in my opinion, as I said, I strongly feel that Trump is a national terrorist.
I believe that most people are not voting for her because of race.
No.
I think they do not want Donald Trump to win. And it's the same reason why we voted for Joe Biden. I just don't want him to win. And I'm going to tell you, when I talked about it, when Joe Biden was running against him, I said, I'm voting for the least two races. Remember when I said that? And then when I got to know Joe Biden and what he was about, now I like this little camaraderie that he had with Obama. I like the way they, but then you come to find out that, Obama really wasn't feeling him like that. So it's like, but until, he served his 8 years with him and they built this camaraderie for each other and this respect for one another. I'm not voting for her because of her race.
No, and people are using that.
I think she's a qualified woman, and I do believe because she's Black, Asian, and Pakistani, that she's qualified more so because she's in touch with all of those makeups because she knows who her people are. That makes sense to you? So
yes, it does.
So she can relate to an Asian woman, right? Meaning Asian, Indian. She can relate to that side because she has experiences because of her mother. Mm-hmm. So she's way qualified because she can touch, a culture, and an understanding with both cultures, Black and Asian cultures. So I definitely.
But isn't it funny? Isn't it really funny that the most pressing issue we're facing right now is immigration and also women's health issue? She's a woman, okay, right. And also the groups that she's affiliated with, whether it be African American, Asian, and Pakistani, those are also pockets of people who also feel marginalized. They kind of feel under attack from, these stereotypes about who they are. And I mean, my God, the people in the Middle East are, being totally destroyed. So do I think that makes her qualified? I do. I think that now Trump, look what he does. So his upbringing makes him connect fully on with the Ku Klux Klan people. He got them all riled up. I'd rather deal with a person who has a history like hers than somebody who just focused on a white man's perspective.
Right.
That's all he cared about, the what is it, the green eyes and the blonde hair, and that's it. He don't care about in business. It's nothing else. It's nothing deep to him.
Right.
So yeah, I not.
Latasha said, honey, Joe Biden went from not letting baby Kamala on the bus to putting her in the White House. Ooh. Now that's a word. That's a feeling. Think about that. Remember when she said that they wouldn't let them, they were desegregating and she couldn't ride the bus or something like that? And it was because of Joe Biden. It had something to do with Joe Biden in the bus.
I remember.
Yeah. And she was saying that he was racist when she was debating against him. It was a racial situation. And then he, from that to that is so true.
Yeah, again, listen, at the end of the day, I wish that this year we had, better, more optimistic, less controversial, I should say, options, but we don't. And I think at the end of the day, I'm going to keep repeating myself like a broken record. I'm voting for sanity. I'm not voting for a perfect person, for an angel. Now, mind you, too, these people, definitely Trump, but the vice president and the president, I don't live my lives like they do. I don't have all these issues and problems and all these contradictions, and I don't have that. But, I'm okay with voting for them, even though they have these issues. I would definitely.
Well, now they're trying to bring up the fact that Tim Walz got a DUI. He didn't serve like he was supposed, that he didn't serve in the military. What is his word? JD Vance is trying to say. JD, he didn't serve in the war. Mm-hmm. And he happened to say in one of his rallies, I don't even think it was a rally, it was like a gathering or something, a town hall, where he said that he served when he fought in the war, and he said those words, but he didn't fight in the war. I'm trying to get this right. He didn't fight in the war, but he was there during the time in one of the wars. I think it was Afghanistan, and he was teaching the soldiers how to use a gun or something, how to use a certain gun. I don't know. Red Labels might know, but and then he talked about him having a DUI.
Okay, because I thought he was there in some kind of, as you said, in some kind of war or something. But at one point, he didn't agree with something, and he decided to work for the government.
He served 24 years.
Oh, okay.
He served 24 years in the National Guard.
Well, that's 24 more than
Right. And so when he stepped down, he had already signed out. He had already put his papers in to sign out because he was running for Congress.
Right. There we go.
Right. And then the Afghan war happened. Something happened, not the Afghan war, but something else happened. Yeah. And then he didn't go. Because he'd already had got his papers that, he was out of the National Guard. And so one guy that happened to be by his side when he was a soldier, or I don't know if they call them soldiers or not. I don't know. I didn't serve. But he said that that he was a good soldier. Do they call themselves soldiers?
I have no idea.
But he was a good soldier, National Guard.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say a guard. He was a good guard. He did his job. He did it well. And you're gonna have people that's gonna come out and say, like JD Vance, who served his time as a Marine. Thank you for your service, JD. But boo, you shouldn't be disrespecting someone else in the time that they served. Because guess what? And what they did in the service. Because guess what? JD Vance wasn't on the line either fighting. Okay, so because that came out, and it's all this contradiction. you're talking, and then you said this man got a DUI. Okay, and you know who got worse than a DUI?
Listen, your Lord and Master, for me,
I'm like, what?
right, Mr. Trump. I was gonna say for me too. Now I'm trying to remember because that's the thing that gets muddy for me. I don't believe Trump ever served. Didn't he evade
Okay.
serving? Oh,
No.
didn't Trump evade serving the country? Didn't he? He never served in ever. He ran. Didn't he run or something?
Who?
Trump.
Yeah, he got bone spurs.
Yeah, something happened. He didn't serve, and then when he was in at least that's what I believe. And there's some Atlantic article where they said he was evading serving, and he was a coward.
Yeah.
Basically, that's what it was. He was a coward, and when he was in office, he said things on the hot mic that was then come on now, Miss. That's what I'm thinking about.
Mhm.
Okay, here are the people. So then. What was I was going to say? So then, when he was in when he was in the office, he was saying very nasty things about people who died.
Yeah.
He was caught on the hot mic about the veterans, saying that people allegedly people were dumb, they were stupid, they shouldn't, all this kind of stuff about people who were dying, and also even the people that he was visiting who was alive as veterans, he had things to say about them too. So. He does not respect the people who served the country. He evaded, like they said, dodged the country, serving. So, like, what are we talking about? That's crazy.
I know it's insane that this man thinks, it's like it's so hypocritical. They're just hypocrites. JD Vance, hypocrite. What I think about him. He a hypocrite all day long.
Well, I was gonna say
Trump,
you said. I was gonna say JD Vance is hypocrite in a pink dress.
Right. But everybody's saying that he don't know who he is. He don't know who he is from one day to the next. He changes name every day. That's what they're saying about him. Because that's not even his name. It's not even JD Vance. General Kelly told us that Trump called veterans dumb losers. And I think that's ridiculous. You know what? Veterans shouldn't even vote for that man. He called John McCain a loser and non-hero because he got caught. Yep.
You see, he was terrible. I mean, he for some reason he has hatred for people who serve the country.
Yeah, And JD Vance is the same. I don't know what JD Vance is doing. JD Vance, I don't know what he's doing. You showing up on the turnpike when the plane is out there. Kamala Harris is, they're out on the plane coming off on the turn. It's called a turnpike. It's not called a turnpike. It's called
the tarmac or something.
The tarmac.
There we go.
And I said the turnpike. Turnpike is the highway.
Yeah, the airport, right?
The airport, yeah. And he's walking in with his people behind him, and this is my plane. And why don't Kamala talk to the press? Because she don't have to talk to the press, boo. She knows what she's doing. Okay, they know what's going on. She's playing chess, honey. Go play your Connect 4 with your old running mate. That old felonious, treasonous, dot. Okay, go over there with him.
Right.
Worry about him who don't want to come outside. Okay, because he looked pitiful today. Did you see him today?
I try not to.
Child, he looked a high funky mess. He going through it. And he looked stank. He looked
well, that was again. This is not really nice to say, but that's what people say.
That's what they're saying. He looked sweaty and funky. He did.
He has a very not very nice. I mean, you know what? Sometimes when people are sick with dialysis or diabetes, those different issues, you have an odor to you. That may even just be an old man smell. Who knows? But he definitely. The people say that when they shake his hand, it smells like garbage.
Stanky. I was just like, this man. He looked like he a sweaty, funky mess. He really does. They don't want to stand next to him.
No.
He looked really bad today. So yeah, it's catching up to you. But W1 said, I don't think he's gonna make it.
He's not gonna make it to November. You don't think? Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, people were kind of rumbling saying he was thinking about dropping out.
I know. I did a video about that.
Yeah,
you sure did.
Scaramucci
said he's going to drop out because he can't take it. He can't take defeat like that. So because he's such a narcissist. So now he wants to debate Kamala, 4 different times, all the way up until November, I guess. He wants to have it, or October. He wants to debate for four times. If you listen to it when he's saying, I'm ready to debate on NBC or ABC or something like that, and he gives the dates of when he's ready to debate. Baby, she said she was going to debate you one time. What was it? September 10th, I think it is. I think. But she's supposed to have a debate with you, and she was ready to debate with you. So now you want to do it 4 other times? Why? She just needs that one time. That's all she said, one. She didn't say 4. So he had to outdo her because his narcissism and his ego had to say, wow, debate her 4 times. For what? I'm going to debate you 4 times. I said 1. Then you want me to go over there to Fox. I don't need to go over to Fox. We can debate right here on NBC, ABC, whatever. I wouldn't do CNN. They don't like the fact.
You know what? Why don't they use PBS? Didn't they use PBS one year? One year somebody used PBS.
That's what my husband said. They should do PBS.
Yeah, I mean something that's a little neutral, has some kind of integrity. That's
what I think too.
Should call the police? Oh yeah.
Yeah, because he came on the tarmac. I don't know how you say it. He came out there while talking to the media. She doesn't want to talk to the media. See, we'll talk to the media. You're talking to the media. You're putting your foot all the way up in your mouth, right? Because if that man, Wisconsin, what's his name? Tim Walz come up here and debate your behind. You don't have nothing on him. And he might call you out and tell you to go sit on I see you got off the couch. Might get you that way and hurt your feelings because you look like your feelings get hurt. That diaper must have been full. It was. That's why he was looking like that. I think he is going to be in jail by October.
I hope so. I really do.
And then what's going to happen if he goes to jail? How long do you think he'll serve?
2 seconds, probably. He literally had the whole country. Yeah, not the whole country. I'm not going to say that. But you know what the thing is? In the 4 years that he was in there, he definitely made. He covered himself. He put these people in positions where if this day came where he had to be held accountable, it was just like he become the Teflon Don. Nobody can touch him. Now, I have a question too, because I was talking about this with a friend of mine. The funny thing is, with all these different Supreme Court judges and all these different little local judges that be doing this crap, making these decisions in his favor, I personally feel that how Rudy Giuliani, all those people who were doing that crap when he was in office, and how most of them got arrested and they got fined, and all the people around him have literally gone down, and the people that was connected to him with the White House. I feel his judges are going to have that day of reckoning too, because they're doing a lot of these people that's really rooting in his favor, voting in his favor, coming down with these legal decisions. I think what happened, something with the papers recently, some judge threw it out, this idea that he was taking the papers that he wasn't supposed to take, and they threw it out. So what happened? What's the chat make you laugh?
Yeah, I read Lavis Child. He said, "I died when Joy Reid called him a sectional predator," talking about JD Vance, because that whole couch stuff of him being on. I think it's made up, but him being in love with the couch. You haven't seen the videos?
No.
You don't go on Twitter?
Sometimes, but I didn't see that one.
But him, with the couch.
Oh, okay.
That's why it was funny that when Tim Walz brought it up, it was a dig.
It then landed pretty good because everybody.
It landed. Did you see the guy that was standing behind him with the blue? I think he had like a light blue shirt on. He was just cracking up because it just landed perfectly. It was funny.
Listen, both him and they have both a breath of fresh air. I mean, people don't want to go there and just be like, they're the problem. This is what's going on. We going to hell. But I'm like, come on, like let's have fun. Let's put some music on. Let's just get optimistic a little bit, because
that's why that's the perfect. Excuse me. When she speaks. When Kamala speaks, she's like Barack Obama. it's just like something about her when she speaks. She's speaking like she's literally talking to you. It's like she's talking to every individual in the room, and you feel like she's talking directly to you. And it's this feeling of, oh, she knows me. Oh my gosh, she's talking to me. I gotta do something. I have to do. You have the want to get up and say, I'm gonna be successful today, and I'm doing something, progressive and positive today. That's how she sounded. The same way when Obama spoke, right? It was just something about him. But they say Bill Clinton was the same way. I mean, I was 18 years old when Bill ran. I voted for Bill Clinton too back in the day. But they say he's the same thing. Like when you go and see him speak, and I've heard this several times, even years ago, that he's so tall, his presence is, it's just like he has a presence. Mm-hmm. And when he speaks, it's like he's talking directly to you. And I think that's why them women was in love with his behind. Because I don't think he's attractive.
No.
That's probably why all about him, because of his height. No. And then, the way he spoke. And it was very calming for them. But Obama's the same way. Kamala, to me, is like she has a power behind her. Like when she told those hecklers, I'm speaking now. Like, settle down. Mm-hmm. Like, and we being of color, we understand that tone. Like when you give that look, Mama said, sit your ass down. Okay. Because my grandmother would give us that look. It was just the look. She didn't have to, because she never cursed that. Sometimes she would say SHIT and ASS, ass. But she never cursed. But she would tell you, she would give you a look, I said. And that's all she had to say. You either left the room or you just sat down. It wasn't none of that. We very respectful. And I have a lot of respect for Kamala, because I said she owned that room and they got quiet.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's the thing, that was what the whole campaign was needing. Because I mean, unfortunately, Joe Biden was just looking so confused and frustrated all the time with all this crap. We needed somebody to come in, basically almost like a reality star, a little bit, to sort of give those reads, give the entertainment and all that kind of stuff. Like she said when she first came out, listen, I hear you talking. You're talking about me. Come to my face. Say to my face. I'm like, okay. She's coming out the ballpark strong. She's like, I'm ready to play. I'm ready to come out here and give you some personality, Mm-hmm. And then, the heckler, she was like, listen, I don't want to kick you out, but you got to shut up. I'm like, oh, she's really clearing the people. She's like, listen, I know you got to vote for me, but I'm going to show you my personality. And the people forget that she had the same personality when she was running a couple years ago. Red Label need to get himself on the because you are dying with laughter.
Why? Because it's funny. Because at that moment, that's when they realized she was black, and I had said it to my husband. I said the same thing, and in that moment, that's when you knew she was black. Like that's real. That's why I was laughing.
She's wonderful. She's great. That's true.
Yeah, because it's true. It's like, oh, finally,
And then they call her basically a political Claire Huxtable, without the end, nothing to do with Mr. Bill. We don't want nothing to do with him. But basically, because of course, Claire was also a lawyer, and I'll never forget the scene. She told Elvin, "Let me tell you something, Elvin. I'm gonna tell you, boom." That's what she gives. She's not going to cuss you out in public, because I think I saw a couple of videos with her, but she can cuss. She definitely can cuss. That's for sure. But
she does remind me of Claire Huxtable. That is so true.
Yeah,
I didn't think about.
She can get the people together in a very nice way. But we need that. That's why she said, "I'm going to debate this man," and it is what it is. I'm not seeing the chat. I mean, but what's his name? Red Label he's tearing it up down there. He is tearing it up.
Yeah, he's cracking me up today.
tearing it on up.
But yeah, she is like a Claire Huxtable. I never thought about that, but you're absolutely correct. She does get those that energy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that good old energy. I'm happy, but like I said, were you here when I was talking about how they're trying to suppress the votes?
Well, that's tonight episode where you were talking about what they were doing with this, when he was trying to get the people tonight, or was it some other?
The deniers. So they have 70 election deniers in place in Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Arizona, and now in Georgia. We have 3. One of them happened to be a Black woman. And so they can deny the election, but then it has to take steps. But what it does is it slows the process down. So when she wins, well, I have a theory, but when she wins the election, that's if Joe Biden doesn't step down and put her in place as president of the United States. But they can stall the election. They can stall her being, I guess, inaugurated into office. And that's the whole point. So that's why you had these election deniers. But it is, that's why we're telling everybody you have to make sure that you're registered to vote.
Mm-hmm.
And when Chris was over here, I don't know if he's still here or not, but he was saying check every single week up until election time that you are registered to vote every week. And I was like, you have to, because some people I read in Texas, some people were finding out that they thought they were registered and then they're not registered.
Wow. Yeah, you know what? That's what I was saying a couple of weeks ago with you. I was like, it's not too late. You still can go to your local board of election, and before it gets crazy literally in about 2 or 3 weeks, that's when it starts getting real crazy in different places, and go there, next week if you can, and make sure that everything's on point, and call them and talk to your local officials. If anything gets a little funky, anybody who's in your, in your party, like if you're a Democrat, Republican, whatever you are, and you call them up, say, hey, this is something happening. They can fix it for you within a couple of days. Like they don't have to do the process where you have to put it in the mail and wait. You can go straight to your local official, and they can connect you to the board of elections. So it doesn't have to be hopeless. There's always ways around that. But yeah, definitely make sure that you know what's going on.
You have to know what's going on. Absolutely. It's this is it. This is the time. This is it's 2024, about to be 2025. It went by so fast.
Mm-hmm.
But this is the time. This is the time for change. It's time for a woman to be president. Been time. Hillary should have won because she did win the popular vote. You got to get rid of the electoral votes. We definitely got to get rid of those.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, they always trying to get rid of what are they trying to get rid of? The 22nd Amendment. They want to get rid of the good stuff and keep the bad stuff, basically.
Yeah. Well, if he gets in there, he's not going to step down. So
no,
there's that. He will get rid of certain parts of the Constitution.
Mm-hmm.
That's in Project 2025. So
Yeah, that's true. Very true. I was going to say, thinking because you were laughing, but Mr. Relabo, he could probably hear me. I was going to say, I wonder with this man who's the vice president is that's part of his state. So I was wondering, Relabo, I guess I'll talk straight to him. Relabo, have you ever met this man? Have you ever went to one of his conventions? They have in your state. Are you excited about? Do you know him? Do you know him? This the vice president's selection. I didn't even think about that because I'm not sure if he's in Michigan or somewhere.
I think he's in Wisconsin.
Oh, yeah. I always say white bread and mashed potatoes. White bread and mashed potato sandwiches land.
White bread and mashed potatoes.
Mm-hmm.
They eat that out there?
And it's in my imagination because I always think about the people in Fargo eating like the pierogies, and I'm like, very bland.
Oh, he's in Minnesota. Why can't we keep saying Wisconsin? Minnesota.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, when I think of Minnesota and I think of places like Wisconsin, I think about Swedish people, Scandinavian. That's what I think. He said Tim is awesome.
Okay.
That's what I think when I think of those places like that.
Minnesota.
Prince was from Minnesota.
And by the way, I thought he was from Michigan.
No, it's Minnesota.
Wait, let me look it up real quick.
Have you listened to him speak?
You talking about Prince?
No, not Prince.
Oh,
Tim Walz.
Oh no, I thought you said Prince just now.
Yeah, because he made no, Prince was from Minnesota. He lived in Minnesota. And he made a Prince Way or something like that, a street named after him.
Okay.
Had a whole thing. Then I was like, oh, I really like this man because I love Prince. I mean, we are a Fortune 500 state. Yeah, that is true. I mean, this man is. I mean, he's doing good by this state. Very good. That's a good.
You think that you might want to move there yourself?
And I don't like the cold like that. It's not that serious. I do not like the cold like that.
You know, I was gonna say until I talked to Red Label years ago, I never knew a Black person who lived there. I never did because I in my mind I always thought it was more like you said, Norwegian, just very that's that way. I never even thought it would be a fit for Black people. So
hey, Norris.
Yeah,
ranked three in one of the happiest states in the country.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he has really good, like he's done a lot for that state.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Hey, Norris.
Oh, hello, Mr. Norris.
Yeah. The ancestors said, nah. I can't do it. I'm from Texas, baby. He gave paid time off for spouses and significant others for families. I mean, he's done a lot. He passed a bill, didn't he, where he feeds the students, and I'm assuming elementary kids, where he's feeding them, all of them, regardless of their income and their families. They get breakfast and lunch every day at school. Free, feeding the children. He made Juneteenth a holiday before it became national. Well, it was always, Juneteenth is a Texas thing, okay? That was always a holiday for us in Texas.
Okay.
We always had a Juneteenth parade. I don't know. Everybody else is catching up. I'm like, what y'all catching up for? Like, this ain't got nothing to do with y'all.
I'm trying to remember, was there an episode of The Housewives of Dallas or down there when they had, I'm trying to remember in all the seasons they actually featured that the Juneteenth, because I know that they sometimes they.
Oh, he made it a paid holiday. Okay. And let me say this, they're going to try to tear him down, but Trump called him during the riots and the George Floyd riots, and called him because he happened to call the National Guard. I guess later he called in the National Guard, I believe. And Donald Trump called him to praise him and all that kind of stuff. What a great job he was. It's on audio. They have it on audio. So for Trump to come back and just backpedal, it's like,
as he always does.
As he always does, exactly. It's just like this man, he has nothing. He has nothing. So they're going to try to, this is why I'm saying they're trying to steal our votes. They're trying to steal because he knows that he's losing.
Yeah, now that part, I believe that very much. So because I know, I don't know about campaigns and stuff, but I do know that all these past couple of years, with these elections, that August is a very, very almost critical month. That they kind of know some information that they don't put out to the public right now about who could win based on how they, I don't know, some kind of scientific way that the campaign kind of go, oh, you're in trouble, you're not in trouble. That's how they knew with Biden. They kind of know when the boat is sinking. So I think that he knows that. I mean, obviously he's not.
But I don't think here's my opinion. I don't think he's doing anything because he's not on the campaign trail right now he should be campaigning. But because he believes he has those 70 deniers put in place in major cities, in major states, that he's not running because he thinks he's going to win. So it's like, well, I have these people put in place. I don't really have to get out here and do my job and, have rallies and stuff, So he believes that. And see, that's when it gets scary for me, because if you believe that you don't have to get out here and run, and remember, he did tell the Christians when he was, I don't know where he was, but he was talking to Christians, and I think it was the Heritage Foundation, where he was talking to the people, and he was telling them, go ahead. I know you're Christians. You got to vote. You got to really get out here and vote for me, but you really don't. You won't have to worry about it after 4 years. Remember? Mm-hmm. And then sometimes he's saying, we don't need your votes. I don't really need your votes, but it'd be nice if you come out and vote. So when Donald Trump talks like that, it's not like he's joking. He's serious, because in his mind, he knows that he has those 70 people in place, election deniers in place in major states where they're needed for him to deny the election. That's why he's not out there on the trail. But he's scared. That makes sense. So he knows that he's going to win. So what Donald Trump is doing is, in his mind, he thinks he's playing chess. Okay. So I got these election deniers out here. I'm okay, but she's beating me in these polls and I look bad. She's getting too much attention. The attention needs to be on me. I need to stay in the spotlight. So it looks bad. It's not good right now. And he knows that it's not good. And I might lose, I know that I'm not winning the popular vote, because he never wins the popular vote. So he knows he's not going to win that, because he hasn't won it the 2 times that he ran. Even when he won, he didn't have a popular vote. Remember all those people protesting? Because it's like, how does he win when he didn't even win the popular vote? So now everybody was like, get rid of the electoral votes. Or what are they called? Electoral.
The electorate?
I don't know. It's called electoral something. So so he didn't have, and that's how he won, because he won those votes, the electoral votes, but he didn't win the popular vote. So then you had people out in the street marching and stuff like that, mostly women. But so I remember that. But then it's just like you have so he believes, that he has a chance. But he gets out there on his platform when he had his press conference today. He says, his numbers are way higher than hers. People have come out. More thousands of people have come to see him. He's packing these stadiums, and but y'all never talk about how many people are sitting there watching me. Let me tell you something. In Georgia, that place holds 10,000 people. The center that they were at, I think it's called the Convention Center or something like that. It fit 10,000 or 12,000 or something like that. He didn't even fill all the seats. And then he blamed it on Kemp. He blamed it on the school district. He was blaming everybody. No, people aren't showing up. Delegates, thank you. Because electoral delegates, thank you. Because your speeches go so long, and then you just talk about nothing. You're not giving people what they need to hear. Because a lot of his people that are voting for him are, you have some middle class people in there for sure, but you have a lot of poor people in there that's voting for him. And they want to know how they're going to be able to feed their families. And are they going to get health care? What are you going to do about health care? What are you going to do about, the prices of gas and the inflation? What are you going to do about that? Donald Trump doesn't have an answer. His answer is drill, baby, drill. Okay. He's going to make China and pay for tariffs. Remember? That's all he ever talks about. It's the same thing from when drill, baby, drill was in when he was running the first time. Right? It was always being drill, baby, drill. We're going to build a wall and I'm going to make Mexico do it. Remember, pay for it. Mexico didn't pay for it. All right. He ain't build it. He added to the wall, but he didn't finish it. You know, and why are you building walls? Red Label said they have drones. Like, dude, people get on planes now. They don't have to go under that wall, cross that wall, but they are doing that. But those are mostly people from Haiti, from Venezuela, from, Honduras. Those people are crossing over. Not, but they're going through Mexico, right? But they're getting over here. China, they're coming through Mexico, Chinese too. And so it's like, and those are the people that and when he talks about those people that come over, let me tell you something, the crime rate is down, inflation is down. They just did 4 million, what was it, 4.3% of people, the job number went up 4.3% or something like that. I don't know who Didi is, but anyway. So it's like it is like it okay, so you're saying it's sad. What I'm saying is sad about how people are crossing over. Anyway, so Donald Trump is very much just, he has no answer, because we all know, us over here, we know that his agenda is Project 2025. We know that. Some people just don't want to, they just don't want to believe it. And I'm talking about a lot of Black people. Because like I told you before, and I tell y'all over here, that I get on these blogs sometimes and I'm just going in. And I will say Project 2025, and they will literally, and I'm not playing, and a lot of these people are Black people, will literally say to me, that's not real. Then you don't know nothing about politics, because Project 2025 is a hoax. It's fake. He has nothing to do with it. And I'm just like, y'all, what are y'all doing? Like, okay, you want to argue me down, because I can sit there. You know how easy it is to have a back and forth with somebody on the blog. Because all I'm going to do, if you say something to me that I don't know anything about, guess what I'm going to do? Google it. And then I'm going to go do some research real quick on your ass. And then I'm going to come back and make a comment. That's what I'm going to do. So it's like, I'm bringing you facts all the time. I'm going to give you some facts. And sometimes I'm going to give you my opinion. My opinion, as, Kamala being, they're going to be put in place. That's not a fact. That's just my opinion. But when I come to you and talk about what's happening, it's going to come with facts. So it's like when, because I'm going to do the research. I'm going to come with research. And if I don't know about it, I'm going to tell you, well, let me go research it, and I'm going to find out, and I'll come back to you. Next time I'm live, I'll come back to you, and I'm going to tell you, this is this. This is this, and this. If I feel like you may be off kilter somewhere, right? If I don't know anything about it, I'm definitely going to go look it up.
Right.
So, it's just like, I don't know what the deal is with Black folks.
I don't know.
And we are always our worst enemy.
Amen. Amen to that, honey. I mean, yes.
We complain a lot, but we never have a freaking solution.
Come on now.
We always do that.
Shoot.
As a whole. I'm talking about as a whole. I'm not pointing anybody out. I'm just saying, as a whole, it's like you always complaining about something. Well, I ain't get this. I ain't get that.
I was going to say complaining. Complaining and don't have no solutions.
No solution whatsoever.
No solutions. And also, what you said, I was listening to you very intently. You're right. I think that for me, it's just so crazy because it's such an easy election. The simple fact is, do I think that that the vice president is going to just answer every question, every dilemma that I have as a Black gay man in America? Hell no, I don't believe that. But I'm still voting for the woman because I believe that she's sane, and I believe that something could be done, some movement could be done. But I believe it's sad, as I think somebody just said. It's sad that I truly believe this. I'm not even trying to convince anybody. I believe that every Trump supporter dreams. The dreams that they have, that this man is going to provide to them, I don't believe not one of those dreams will come true. Because it's amazing to me that when he was in office before, he had promised them a lot of things before, and not many of those. I don't think any of those things came true. He promised them so much, and none came true. And I would tell people about Project 25. Project 25 is as real as January 6th. I mean, that's all you have to put it down. That's it. January 6th is it was a real event, and so is Project 25.
Yes.
So
And I mean, I told literally someone said to me, because they were saying, well, what are what are Kamala's policies? She's not saying anything because it was a video clip, whatever. I mean, everybody's all riled up and happy, but she's not telling you anything. And somebody broke it down. Well, this is what she's saying, because then he's asking for policies. And I said, well, you can Google it, right? This fool wrote me back. And then I said, oh, you can get Project 2025. Wrote me back. Said, you should be ashamed of yourself for talking about Project 2025. That is not even real. I mean, you should go do your research. And so you can go look on Kamala's website and see what her policies are. The same way you can go on Donald Trump's and look up what his policies are. And I said, simply, I talk politics every day. I talk politics every day. I said, you should be ashamed that you don't know what Project 2025 is, because it's real. He never wrote me back. So it's like,
they never do.
No, they didn't write me back.
No.
But, I'm researching everything. If I'm not on here, I'm looking stuff up every day. Every day, I'm obsessed now. Good night, Chris.
Who's that?
Chris Roth.
Oh, okay. Good night. Oh, there we go. Good night. Good
night. He said, have a good night. Have a food night. I need to make the owner of my company richer. So hopefully if Kamala gets in office, you can own your own company.
Right.
So, it is.
I've never seen so many tokens in my life. People buffooning themselves for a man who do not respect or see them. They are just using them. I mean, the way that he just talked to those reporters, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like, yesterday, racism is not real. This is not, he's for the community. I'm like, he is doing it to you in your face every single time.
Every single time.
And for me personally, I've never in my lifetime had even uttered the word publicly that I feel like somebody on a ballot is a national terrorist. But I do feel that very strongly. That's just all I have to say. People go, oh, what's the policy? I feel this man is no different than Timothy McVeigh, that man that tried to blow up Oklahoma. He is giving me that vibe. Somehow we have let this person fall through the cracks. And now he's out here trying to make decisions as a leader of the free world. That is not okay. Now, I will say this, that I know I'm going to be okay. My family's going to be, as I told you a lot of times, that whatever's going to happen, we're going to be fine. I do believe that very strongly. But it will be very interesting times. God help us if his tricks and all his schemes pay off for him. But at the end of the day, we're going to be fine. But yeah, but you know what? I'm very optimistic about this going on. And also, I think that some of the things that you talked about tonight, I think the Democrats are seeing it, because you know what? When the vice president stepped up and Joe Biden stepped down, I knew that the Democratic Party would do what it needs to. Oh, geez, I was late. They knew. they mean business. How about that? They mean business. I'm sorry, it's late. I got a little. They mean business, and they know what they doing, what they need to do, basically. And I think that maybe what you brought up, this good topic tonight, that they also are maybe at the polls too, and they also monitoring, because I know when you at the election polls, I know that very much so.
That's what Learning to Love Myself said, that she heard that they said that they put people in place at those polls to make sure that they'll, so everybody has someone in the place, which right. They is do. Great. I'm so glad to hear that.
They very much.
Like I should have said that.
I should have said that. Great. They do. Yeah, it's actually the law here in New York City that in all the during the day of the election here, they start at 5:30 and they don't end until sometime 2 o'clock. It's just that people just be counting and it's going. But the people can come in at any time from the Republican side or the Democrat side, and it's the law. They can have access to everything. So it's not just his side. It's also we have other things going on. I don't know about the other states, but that's what I'm saying. I think that maybe the Democrats are they're not talking as much as he is and not showing all their cards as much. Because I think that J.D. Vance a couple of weeks ago said, "Oh, this is sad. This is bad. We got her coming in as the president. This is a shock to me." Well, I think that the Democrats want to keep shocking them. They want to keep them on their toes, so that way that they don't know what's going on. Maybe they have something up their sleeves when we have that big convention in a couple of days or something.
It is August. Isn't it August 10th?
It's soon, very soon. And so we don't know what's going to be happening there. So listen, we have a couple more things to play before November. So I'm optimistic.
I'm optimistic too. I'm optimistic, but like I said, I was also like, kind of spooked out when I started seeing the election deniers. So Red said, so Taylor Swift endorsed Kamala Harris without saying a word.
Well, where did she do that at? Is it on Instagram or something?
I don't know. But if she did, it's a wrap.
It is a wrap. I'm going to look it up.
Natasha said in Nevada, you can drop your ballot off at the post office.
And you can in New York City too.
So I think you can do that here. And you can do that here. But you know what they did? Because those ballot boxes are for people, basically for elderly people, right? For them to get there and, they don't have to go all the way to a post office. They can go put it, post office, my bad. Never mind. They had like little post office drops, ballot drop boxes they had.
But I was going to say too, what people talked about here in New York City for a couple of years is that we were thinking that, over the pandemic time, people were doing a lot of Zoom meetings, a lot of different appointments, but everything going on. So they're thinking, well, maybe people can vote from their computers in the future, maybe in a couple of years. But people who are blind or, have these other issues, they don't have to go down. They actually can connect with the local board of election, and people will be designated to that person. They can sign in and do they vote and all that kind of stuff. So, hopefully it'll be even more convenient because we have apps on our phones for everything. And I think we should have that access in our hands. So that way, when we do something, we can see the receipt right there. We don't have to worry about all this, chaos, whatever. So hopefully we update some things and not make it as hard as it's become.
But that's true, Mel. But I also think that the computer stuff, this is why you have people, the election deniers, because they're going to make up some reason why you shouldn't do it online. I thought that was a good idea. You brought that up a long time ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the people were talking about that here for a long time. They're like, oh, we should, because there's certain things you can do in New York City where you can literally talk to the local government and certain things in an official way through a portal. So I just, that's something they definitely think about for the elections.
I'm trying to see what the dates are for the DNC. It's going to be on August 19th so it starts on Monday, August 19th through Thursday, August 2020.
And that thing is going to be big. It's going to have many different celebrities and George Clooney's and all type of people. I bet you'd be down there.
Megan Thee Stallion. She was at a concert and she gave she called them we're going to call ourselves the Harris Hotties. Hotties for Harris. I think that's what it is. Hotties for Harris.
Well,
they was over there dropping it like it's hot.
And forgive me for saying this, because I know people are like, oh, well, why she got Megan Thee Stallion? I like that term. I'd rather have the people be the hotties for Harris instead of the hookers for Trump. Okay. So, I rather
faces for Trump.
Come on now, or the
tricks for Trump,
the tricks, the escorts, the mail order brides.
We are so messy. Ooh,
everything else, allegedly, but I'd rather have. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Did you see that girl that got that tattoo, Trump tattooed on her forehead? Have you seen that video?
No, I haven't seen this crazy person.
It's all the way across her forehead. in big bold letters, Trump.
Mm.
I don't think it's real, but it looked real. I think it's one of those tattoos that fade away, but it looked real. But now they can do that.
Yeah.
So these people, I said, who paid her? She must have got a lot of money for that tattoo on the forehead. I mean, it's big and bold, big black bold letters across her forehead.
She might have just put KKK up there.
Isn't that crazy?
Mm-hmm.
I was like, girl, what are you doing? But that's no difference. I guess she did it because she saw what's the blonde girl? What's the blonde girl? The bald-headed blonde girl?
Oh.
That's black, but don't look black.
What's her name? Amber.
Yeah, Amber Rose.
Amber Rose, yeah.
I wonder if she did it because of Amber Rose. Because Amber Rose has a tattoo on her forehead, but she doesn't Trump. But she has a tattoo on her forehead.
Hmm.
So, did she do it for her? Do it because, I'm going to be like Amber. I'm going to put Trump on my forehead. I was like, oh, Lord. Trump is the new word for KKK.
It sure enough is.
Oh, and another thing, guys. We're taking back the American flag, okay? We're taking it back. They've been using the American flag, the MAGA party, as their sign of patriotism. We're taking the flag back. The Democratic Party is taking it back. We're going to start flying our flags. We're going to start putting Kamala Harris signs in the yard. We're taking back the flag. They don't own that flag. W1 used to always say that. They don't own that flag. That flag is an American flag. They don't own that. And I think when I talked about it, because I said here several years ago, I said, I feel like every time I see American flag, that, it's racist people. Remember when I said that? Because I felt like they took it and they made it their own. And every time I see the flag, it just made me feel a certain way. Like, but it's not. You're right. That's American flag. That's not the MAGA party's flag.
Mm-hmm.
About your fake patriotism.
Yeah, right.
So yeah, we'll put the flag in the
yard.
I
mean, listen, they totally they don't respect them. They don't respect American values, to be honest with you. Not the people.
Absolutely not.
No, they don't. Because American values will talk about fairness, inclusion, not controlling people, all the stuff that even that Heritage Project, which is a fraud, they couldn't even stand up to their own kind of rhetoric, the idea of these sort of, honest people. Miss Natasha, you are absolutely taking me out. You are hysterical, Miss Natasha. My God. Miss Natasha
is funny. And she's so pretty. Look, has some of the prettiest hair, honey. Head full of hair. Just beautiful. And her mama's pretty too. I'm talking about Natasha like I know Natasha. I saw her on the video because I follow her on IG, and I saw a video of her and her mother, or a picture of her and her mom. I was like, oh my God, she's so beautiful.
Very funny, very funny.
Yeah, she's funny.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, we're taking it back. We're taking back our flag, and we're gonna fight. Okay, we're not gonna come up with fake blood. We should come up with fake blood on our face and say fight. Because he said he got shot in the ear. I got, the bullet hit my ear. I healed quickly. The doctor said I healed. You're 77 years old. What 77-year-old person heals quickly from a wound?
Only a vampire.
Okay.
A demon.
His friend Stephen Miller looked like a vampire. He'd been sucking his blood, probably. Stephen Miller, the bald-headed, whatever that is. The dude is hideous. He's scary looking. Like at night, he's a creeper. Like at night, he look like that. He's on my thumbnail.
Oh yeah.
Both white men are ugly, but the one with the bald head and looking like this, I found a picture just scary enough to scare y'all because that weirdo. You welcome, Tasha. That dude is strange. I never he always gave me the creeps. He look like he has fangs and stuff at night. And he walks around with his black cape on, fighting, eating dogs that's outside, feral dogs, feral cats. That's what he looked like to me. Just like a night creeper.
God, oh Lord, he's crazy. Crazy.
I don't like him. I don't like him. I don't like, I don't like him. I don't like the other dude, and I don't like the. They're just weird people, and I hate to keep saying that, because that's the Democratic word. They're just weird, and that's a nice word for saying somebody is, crazy. Stephen Miller is a cuckoo puff. He crazy. He cray, big time. You ought to listen to this fool. You can't stand him for more than 5 seconds. But the man he's evil. He's a demon seed. Spawned from Beelzebub himself. Then you have Kevin Roberts. That's the leader of the president of the Heritage Foundation. That's another strange man. Just strange. Remember when he put the video, he did the interview, he said, the Democrats, what do you call it? The Democrats, it won't be a bloodbath.
Oh, him.
Unless the Democrats want it to be. And when he said it like, I said, oh, well, just where we going? Because, this is what we got to do. You know what I'm saying? Because y'all not the only one that got, believe in your amendments, baby. So, and that was one of the reasons why I like the fact that she picked Tim Walz too, because he showed you his. I got one. I'm sitting here, I go hunting, and I know how to shoot this sucker. So it's like, y'all need these crazy Republicans out here talking about bloodbaths and all that. You trying to scare your people. And Georgia, child, let me tell you, go down some of these roads down here deep in the woods of Georgia, these people are still flying those yellow flags with the snake wrapped around look like a cone or something. It's a yellow flag. I don't know what the name of it is. I can never remember. I think it's the Don't Tread on Me. I think Don't Tread on Me is police officers. But the yellow flag, find that doggone flag. Because it was the Cowboys and it was the other people that Trump that stormed the Capitol. I'm gonna find it.
They are not scaring anybody but that rhetoric.
Yeah, because I'm down for the cause. You know what I'm saying?
I know.
It's gonna be what it's gonna be. If I gotta go out like that, then I'll just go out like that. I don't know what it's called. It's a far right. Let's see. I thought somebody over here would know what it is.
So wait a minute. What you looking for?
The yellow flag with the yellow flag that some of the people stormed the Capitol with. They had a yellow flag.
You talking about the January 6th flag that the people were using?
Yes, some of them were yellow flags, and they have like a snake wrapped around. I don't know if it's like a gun barrel or something.
Oh, okay.
And then it's you have the Proud Boys. Let me write that in there. Proud Boys. But the leader of that group got put in jail with the rattle. Yeah, red labels. It's a yellow flag, and it has a snake on it.
Well, that was what they was calling Nancy Pelosi.
Remember when they were trying to
I remember.
Take her out? Ooh, child, we over here searching. You trying to find it too?
I was trying, but I don't know.
But they are a right far.
Is it?
That's the Don't Tread on Me. Red Label said that's the Don't Tread on Me flag.
Okay.
But what was the name of the group?
Proud Boys or MAGA? Or...
It wasn't the Proud Boys. It was another group. Because I don't know if you remember watching it when I had showed the live. You had they were live when they had the insurrectionists.
Yeah.
The January 6th committee.
Mhm.
They were talking to some of them, and it was two particular dudes, and they were talking about the guy who was in this group, and it wasn't the Proud Boys. It was another group that's just as by far worse. Because the Proud Boys tend not to be, they're supposed to be not racist. They accept everybody. But these other ones are racist. So the leader of the group was a racist. But that is the Don't Tread on Me flag. Let me see. Yes. That's it. Have you ever seen it now?
Is it what is saying the Gadsend or what is this?
It says it's the Don't Tread on Me flag. So you see people flying this flag. So they fly these flags. I see them in people's yards. When Trump was president, the Oath Keepers, thank you. I couldn't think of that for nothing. The Oath Keepers. So the Oath Keepers they are here and they still fly their flags. And I believe it's the Don't Tread on Me flag. So I see it. I see it all the time. Certain, areas you go in.
Mm-hmm.
It's not even the what's the Southern flag of America, child? Everybody talking about the get rid of the Oath Keepers. Stuart Rhodes. I do believe he's the one that had like the patch over his eye. So he's in prison right now because they were part of the whole thing. So remember when they said Donald Trump had spoke to the Proud Boys, he also spoke to the Oath Keepers. They were the ones that were out there storming the building. Oath Keepers and Proud Boys and just tag-alongs. But they have underground, dark web conversations. They having one right now. Yeah, that's him, old Patchy, the dude with that. He's in prison right now. Thank God. Because they said the dude was cuckoo. Like crazy. And was racist. You don't remember? And one dude came and he was talking about him.
I think I do. Again, my mind.
Two
I'm
guys
listening.
that came out, and the wife was sitting behind him. The dude lost his job. He pretty much lost his livelihood getting involved in that. And I was watching another video, probably like a little small documentary, I believe, last year sometime. And the woman had joined the Oath Keepers, and it's hard to get out of that stuff. It's like joining a gang. So
or Scientology.
Or Scientology. I mean, it's weird. I mean, it's just crazy stuff. It's crazy stuff. These people are and it's more hate groups. So like if you go to Tennessee or Memphis, they're out there marching. They're marching with their red flag. I'm like, who are these people with their red flags? Marching, they're young people. High Hitler, putting their hand up, talking about high. I'm like, really? If you didn't have blonde hair and blue eyes, Hitler didn't want nothing to do with you. If you really think Hitler was alive today and all those people marching, he wouldn't want anything to do with them. You know why? Because they would be mixed-blooded people born in this country. Because most of all of us are mixed. We're not one race. Not if you were born in America.
But you know what I think is happening now? People are addicted to power. People are so afraid of whatever they're afraid of, something. I know what, as I said, the idea of people on that racing track. But I think the other groups, even if you live in a community that don't have resources, I'm talking about these, as we said before, the Bubbas and the Mamas, if you live in these areas where you don't have no resources, you're afraid all the time. So now you get this person coming up there and he's manipulating you, telling you, I have power and I want to give it to you. So now you start making up flags and you start using the yellow flag, this flag, a white flag, or a white hood, whatever. And you do all this stuff because you say, well, if I do what this group is saying, if I do what this man is saying, then that's going to mean that I'm going to have power. I'm going to be in this world viewed as somebody better than my neighbor,
Mhm.
you know. And then whatever happens bad in the world, God forbid, a virus or anything happens with money, I'm going to be protected, and so is my family. Simple fact is, when the pandemic happened, nobody was protected. We
Right.
all was vulnerable, and that's kind of funny to me that we don't remember that lesson we had almost 3.5, 4 years ago. That we were all literally, in a way, I mean, I'm not sure about the other communities, but in my community, it didn't matter if you were white, black, or whatever immigrant. We always like, do you got enough gloves? You got a mask on? Are you okay? Is your mother okay? It was literally a community.
Yep.
Then things got a little crazy afterwards, and then people stayed in, people blamed the vaccine or whatever it is. Now everybody is so afraid. And so when you become deathly afraid, then you become hungry for power.
Mhm.
And that's why people are just so fanatical when it comes to seeing him almost like a preacher or like some kind of cult leader or whatever, where they basically like, this man is going to save me. He is going to save me. It doesn't matter how many times he, attacked somebody or, did a criminal act or manipulate or cheat or lie to us. That's a big one. The people that believe him, he is lying to you all the single time. He's almost never come through with any promises he made to the group of people who see him as a savior.
I personally believe there is something encoded on their mutation that makes them behave that way. I mean, if you look at the studies, they were a mutation.
Interesting.
Oh, that's a fact. So they were a mutation.
Yeah. I mean, that's a lot of things. Yeah.
It's in their makeup. Yeah. You know, I mean, I'm not going to
But
get
I
into
was
all
going
of
to say
it.
too, it's not, but, but it's not only just men and women, not just even white people or people who look like him, but I mean, we talking about our own community too sometimes. And our own families, our own brothers and sisters or cousins, like,
There were black people there were black people that joined
yeah.
the Proud
So
Boys.
yeah, so I'm like, in every crazy toxic group in America, we have a melting pot, unfortunately, of immigrants, of African, of Latin, or whatever, women. Even though the people are joining these groups, that this man is not representing anything that's going to enhance your life. So I personally feel that they have something. They are definitely afraid about something, and they feel that going to these rallies and participating, and along with like Mr. Red Label said, with their mutations, with their malfunctions, they're part of the X-Men. That's sort of the Ku Klux Klan of the X-Men. They have a lot of issues going on. So that's what I think is going on.
Well,
So,
the fear is, Mel, the
mhm.
fear is the fact that the white race numbers are dwindling and white women are not having children the way they had children before. They're not getting married. This younger generation is extremely independent. They don't
Extremely sexual.
extremely sexual. They are,
Mhm.
and it's like going back to the 80s. So it's
Mhm.
like they're independent. They want to, they get into these relationships. They want to live in tiny homes. They don't want to have children. And so America is looking at that. They are way ahead of us. So you have people they have people in place. It's just not the Heritage Foundation, by the way. It's 100 of them. It's a
Mm.
100 different organizations,
Yeah.
right? And some of them, and they're all appointed to certain things. And so they're looking at, you have some of them over here looking and counting and, counting census to see, oh, well, okay, well, wait a minute now. The white race is falling behind and our numbers don't look so good. And the Latino race, the Hispanic race is rising. And oh God, here come the Asians, and I see them trickling up. Not those blacks. Oh hell no, here they come. And now the white race is falling behind. And then you have the Asian race. I'm talking, when I say Asian, I mean Indians, Pakistans, uh, uh, Chinese, Asian
Mhm.
people. And so when those people when they come here, right, in America, and they come here and you see that white women are not having babies. And a lot of white women aren't having babies with white men. So then it becomes mixed race, right? So they're mixing with everybody else and they're not having white children. Now, this when it becomes scary for them, for the white man, because now the white man is saying, uh-oh, we in trouble. So remember when you ever seen the Ghosts when Whoopi Goldberg turned to Demi Moore and said, you in trouble, boo. Girl, you in trouble. That's when they looked at you, we in trouble. So now we have to take back, women's right to choose and make them start having babies. That's a fact. There ain't no other way around that. That's right there in your face. So now they have to have the babies. We're making them have the babies. So much to the point that JD Vance, or whatever his name is, has said, we're going to start monitoring women when they're pregnant and young girls when they come on their periods.
Well, they did call him the handmaid tale party, basically. This idea that they want to control. Yeah, I've heard that. That's crazy. Mm-hmm. It's a frightening time to be a woman. It's absolutely frightening.
And the son is, yep. Mm-hmm. So what's the name? Jane. What's the name? That lady named Jane something. Didn't she say that? The white lady that's always giving the classes about racism.
Oh, Jane. Oh my gosh, Jane Elliott. Jane Elliott.
Jane Elliott. Mm-hmm. That. She said the sun is killing them. Yeah, she said that. And so the best, how they're going to survive is by mixing the race. That's going to make their lineage last. It's deep. And so these people, while we're out here dropping it like it's hot, buying Gucci bags and, trying to stay in fashion, heritage foundations and those other 100 other organizations, they're studying all that. They're just trying to save their race. It's like staying in power, because all of a sudden, it's a problem that people are crossing over, coming here, taking your Black jobs. Before it wasn't a problem. You wanted that worker here because you didn't really have to pay them anything to come here. You pay them minimum wage or barely minimum wage, right? You tell them to pull themselves up by the bootstraps. Guess what they did? Okay, I'm going to take this $4. I'm going to cut your yard, and I'm going to go down here, and I'm going to charge such and such $5. I'm going to cut their yard, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that, and I'm going to come clean your house, and I can't even speak your language. But guess what I'm going to do? I'm about to make a killing, and then I'm going to bring my family over here, and we're going to live together in this one house, and we're going to be just fine. And guess what else I'm going to do? I'm going to start my own business, and it's only going to take me a year to start my own business, right? Because you ain't really counting my money because I ain't paying taxes. But I'm getting some government assistance on that ass, and then guess what? Guess what else I'm going to do?
I'm going to vote for Trump.
And nuh-uh, not yet, because Trump not even here yet. Remember, he here, but he ain't running for office. So now when they get to a certain status, then they gonna vote for Trump because they use all what's given
the resources,
and they learn and they bring their family because they pull themselves up by their bootstraps. Right.
I was going to say, have you ever read this book? I read them for a long time. Marianne Williamson. I used to go to her church here because I saw an Oprah at first, and she talked about Course in Miracles, and it's a book about fear. It's a really thick book that I go to bed with every night. I mean, it's not a Bible because I have my Bible, but Course in Miracles is something. And so that's where I get this idea. So even when we talk for years, and you're like, well, you might get upset about something, you kind of hear calmness with me, because I always see that in that book, even though it's thousands and thousands and thousands of pages, it's all about fear. It's kind of repetitive, and it's like this big spiritual tone. You can't really, it takes a lifetime to get through it, but it's all about fear. That every malfunction, every dysfunction, the root of it is fear. That you believe as a human being that you don't have what it takes to make it in this world. That you buy into the illusion of all the chaos and stuff. So that's kind of where I go to. So that's why I would say, I'm gonna be okay, because that's kind of one of the many tools I use.
Right.
So, But so that's what I think when it's all about fear. It's all about fear. If you remember Young, remember her show. Most of the time, she would step to the people and like, okay, what's the problem? You need to cry. Let me hug you. People would like, why is she touching her? Was it because she knew that no matter how many people they slept with, no matter how many times they committed crime, no matter it was all they needed was a hug. They needed to acknowledge that they were hurting. They needed, especially if you're black, you need to sort of get those wounds met. You need to talk about the wounds that you had from your ancestors and all the stuff that you went through. Once you sort of met that, then you can calm down a little bit with those fears and not being so reactive and you want to pow this one and then take from that one and then, it's about fear. It's all about fear. So when I see that this kind of stuff has sort of risen up to a fever pitch after the pandemic, oh yes, it's about fear. It's about fear. It's about lack. People were worried about the toilet paper and paper towels. And I think even the Red Lady was talking about allergies. That the people are having. It's about fear. So let's say that the person do have a medical condition. Instead of being so reacting, like, oh my gosh, my children, everybody's going to die because of day in the sun. But it's all about fear. At the end of the day, Miss Sunny, it's all about fear. At the end of the day, if even with Trump, even with this man, if somebody was to take him and the yellow vans down his ass, excuse my French, and say, why the hell are you this way? Why? Like they sit with them. And he might tell about his father. He might tell about being bullied. He might talk about all the stuff that made him feel insecure and that he needs to control and backstab and manipulate and cheat all the time and lie all the time. Because if he don't do that, well, then he's going to be vulnerable to life. Now, people are afraid of life. That's the one of the philosophers I was reading, they said that's the major thing of human beings, that the biggest fear is that we're afraid of living. We are definitely afraid. So if you go, okay, dear God, this was not an accident. I know Tiger's going to get me in my bed. I don't need to go out there and backstab my brother and my co-worker and stuff like that. I'm okay. That we won't have as many issues, but people don't think that way. They always afraid of something. So now they got to go out there and get power. And you don't have to speak the language to get power either. You come here because you feel like in this country, the power is here. So where do I go? Now, even though the people who respect you and talk to you nicely, that they too soft, I got to go to the people who are actually the more racist and the crazy people, because it amazes me how people who are being blocked from coming in the country, they get here, the people who support them, like the AOC and the Obamas and the people, they get the resources. And I've had friends who've come here from immigrant to a citizen. Thank God. They, as soon as they became a citizen, I want to vote for Trump. Really, girl? Like, why? It was hard for you. I helped you. Because I help people. I helped you. And now you telling me, do you see the people out there not caring about people who look like you? Now, forgive me. I told her, sister, you're basically a ninja with an accent. That's what I told her. That's what you are. Before you open your mouth, they don't know who you are. They don't care about that. They just care about certain things. So it makes me, it boggles my mind. So then I start journaling. It's about fear. They thought that it was hard to get here, and how do I keep power? Let me go to the people who are the more aggressive and stuff like that. It's a whole thing, and I can go into a whole thing, but it's about fear. It don't care if it's a health issue, if you're going through something, if you're not even conscious of it. It's about fear. I try my very best not to be afraid with my family. I've lost people, and I was very angry about that, but I knew that it was meant to happen. I don't have control over supernatural life and death. So now I go, okay, well, you know what? I'm gonna be okay. I'm gonna keep on having conversations with my son and keep coming to the YouTube channel. I'm gonna keep on participating and stuff.
Right.
I'm happy right now. That's what's happening in the Democratic Party. But it's about fear. It's really that's all I see. Whenever I watch Fox News, those blonde heads with the blue eyes and the green eyes, they are afraid. They are definitely afraid. And that's why they're so angry. That's why
it's fear. Exactly. That's exactly what it is.
They're afraid. And also,
yeah.
And also, you know what? I believe when they came over to this country, some people, they saw this country, beautiful country as it is. They're like, oh my gosh, I don't know how to clean. I don't know how to sew. I don't know how to cook. I don't know how to do livestock. Well, allow me to go over to this country and brutalize people who are strong enough and mentally strong enough to come to this country and make the land work, make the homes work, make the food good, make everything good. And I can go and create these different laws that will confuse the masses to keep me in power. And now I have the people working for me. That's why I told you before, no matter who's in power, I'm not going back to nobody's plantation. That's not happening. You can try to confuse these people. I can confuse me. So that's not happening. But that's what they were afraid. They was totally afraid about the wilderness, and they put us out there and out there in the fields and stuff, and we made everything beautiful. And I still, you remember, what's her name? Paula Dean said a couple of years ago. She said, well, I hope that's what she got canceled from the network. I hope that we can go back to the time where the people were in the fields and the plantation.
She said that?
She did. That's why she got canceled off the TV. So I feel that that's some of the. I feel she feel that because they some people are lazy, and it's just easier, and they know it's too expensive to have a real maid. So if you can intimidate somebody that you can convince is lower than you or afraid of you, they can do for you for free what nobody in their right mind. Nobody's gonna be wiping your butt and cleaning your tubs.
But they already did that, right? The Trump supporters, the black people who believe in Trump, that say, Trump gave me a check. Those are the people. Those are your will turners. Remember Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome?
Mm-hmm.
And you had the people out there whipping the people who were pushing the thing around, those are those people.
Right.
Because they can't think, they can't think higher than. They have to have someone strong and powerful. He could take a whole bullet in the ear and come up talking about fight with ketchup over his face. And oh yeah, he's strong. He took a bullet for America. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, can I get my stimmy check? Those are those people that push the wheel to keep the electricity running and be the Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome.
Right. And
those
I think
are your Uncle Ruckuses or whatever the name was. That Samuel L. Jackson played in Django. Those are those people. Because they want to be servants.
Right. And because they're afraid that if they don't have somebody control them, that they're going to be they'll perish. So for me, I'll say this, and it's not when I got that check, because we all got those little stimulus checks, and it basically was a tip that you can give. I took that thing. I never spent it. I never did. I just sort of put it, just put it away. I didn't do anything with it because I had my own life. I had my own, as I told you, I'm single. I have my own life. I live here. I don't got many worries. So it didn't rock my world. It didn't do anything for me. It was just like, oh, okay, this is nice. It was it.
I put some of mine in investments too.
Right. It wasn't like, I remember I told you it was a funny episode. It was a funny episode of Designing Woman where they had the queen, Miss Dixie Carter. They had her in the court, and she wanted to go to do some fancy dinner, and the people were holding her up. And she said, why? She said, I believe you. I believe somebody said that this hotel that we live in this sort of 2-star hotel, is the fanciest hotel you've been in a couple of years. Well, I'm gonna let you know this has not been the fanciest hotel I've been in a couple of years. So it's very funny because they was like, oh, this is the best thing in the world. No, you can do better. You can do better. I think that people, the sexy reds and the people trying to get the free hair from the ground and the products and everything. Listen, you don't have to be a Trump, but just wake up in the morning and go, you know what? I believe in myself. I could be creative. I can go to college. I can do whatever I want to do. I can do something. What am I good at? And just, believe in yourself. That's the biggest thing. If you believe in yourself, then, that's why I told you I'm reading all these books now about these African-American inventors and people from the 1920s and stuff who were under the Jim Crow era, who had stuff burning on they, this is book coming out, and I think this month about the first Black surgeon that I can't wait to get my hands on, where he was helping people and he became very successful. I was listening to Thomas Smiley, and when I get the title, I'll let you know because it's supposed to be a good one. It's going to be published in a couple of weeks, whatever, and it's about the first Black surgeon. So anything to do with how people made it under that time is what I'm gobbling up right now.
And those times were way harder than these times.
It was, yeah.
People need to understand that. And people were, Black folk were doing, there were some successful Black people during those times.
Right.
So it's like, a lot of times they had to, and that's probably because the dollar was circulating amongst Black people. But you got to think about 10 times before they went down the street, but they had to circulate the dollar amongst themselves. That's why they were successful. But then you have to think about after they started burning down Oklahoma, Black Wall Street and all that, what did they do? They still got out there and they did what they had to do and they survived that. And so with our culture, survival, we know how to survive. You know what I'm saying? Because that's just something that's in us. That's something that's just instilled in us. We know how to survive.
We do.
During the hardest times.
Yes, we do.
And nothing can take us down. Nothing.
No, it can't. No.
So, and I think that's why a lot of times, when I see stuff like that, the girls, that's a whole different generation.
Mm-hmm.
You begging for hair weaves and it's hard out here. We need to get our hair done. Your priorities are messed up, ma'am. Your priorities ain't about hair weave and old gel and old perm. The people ain't even putting perms on their hair anymore. You know what I'm saying? They shouldn't be anyway. So it's like,
yeah, that's true. Somebody was saying, instead of y'all going down there, you see, in my mind, instead of them going down there looking for free hair weaves on the ground, they should be like, damn, I wonder how much I can get for this. I wonder if I can get a lease in this store. I wonder if I can, I can team up with my sister and we can get a deal. If the man left, we might be able to get a deal here. I think Red Label could say that, like, if somebody's evicted, then maybe you can snatch up a store and you make a good deal or something. So
come together as a community.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's the 50 cents and the black male rappers who vote for Trump are so dumb. Maggots have masculine, rich black men more than anything. And you know what's so funny about those black men that's supporting the Donald Trump? Most of them are married to white women.
Mm.
So, not that I don't have a problem with that, but what I'm saying is, it's like, especially at Byron Donald's. So Byron Donald's story is he went to HBCU. He went to Florida State. Yes, he went to Florida A&M. And he married a black woman. And I think they were married for a couple of years, like 3 or 4 years or whatever. He was got caught with some Mary Jane. He was arrested. Then he had a felony on his record. He had a record, but it got washed away in Florida. I guess then that's when he moved. He ends up getting with his now white wife, and he has his biracial children. Now, this is what I find funny, because he himself was talking about Kamala Harris, saying, well, she was saying that she was Indian, and now all of a sudden she's black. You know what I'm saying? You have biracial children, sir. What are you doing? Right. See, it's when you get up here and you forget where you come from. You over there windmilling. The only reason why Byron Donalds is over there windmilling for Donald Trump, because he thought Donald Trump was going to put him in position. So he's going to keep windmilling for Donald Trump, because he thinks if Donald Trump wins, he's going to put him in a position, because Donald Trump probably told him that's what he was going to do. You better look at Omarosa.
Right.
Donald Trump don't believe black people should be in a higher position. He does not believe that. As Omarosa, he doesn't believe
Dash.
Stacey Dash. He does not believe that, and because he doesn't think you're smart enough. And this is why he's so angry at Obama, because Obama became president not once but twice, and it bothers him that Obama was become president. Because I remember seeing when Donald Trump first started running. He wasn't on the ballot, but he was sitting there saying he didn't know if he was going to run. This is all the stuff he was saying. And there was a video of him talking about Obama. And when Obama had got off the helicopter and he was walking across the yard, he was like, look how he walked. He's not even dignified. He doesn't even look like a president. Look how he walked. How he strutting down. He was talking bad about the way he walked. You got to listen to how the man talks about black people. He's not going to come out writing the N-word. He's not going to do that. He'll do it when the stuff is not on, But he definitely is going to say something, and you're going to hear it. He said it about the women when he was sitting over there with the black reporters. You were late. You were 35 minutes late. You had me waiting for 35 minutes. Right? Black folks are always late. He was insinuating that. He's not going to say that. They coming to get your black jobs. What a black jobs are. Any job is a black job, but it ain't the kind of job that I have. See, you gotta listen to how he talks.
Yeah, I think that for me, you know what's so funny? You're right. I think that for me, he loves the minorities who are fans of him, but he don't love an independent thinking person who's a minority. So if you're an independent thinking African American person who's not just drooling and tokening yourself and buffooning yourself and dressing up in all his garbage, well then you're a threat or something or whatever. So what happened?
No, I'm listening to you. We're at label somebody about the side. No, it's 54 outside and breezy. Don't nobody care.
54. Wait a minute. In August, 54 degrees. That's too cold. That's way too cold.
Child, the way my hot flashes be kicking in and out, that feels good to me.
But now you said you didn't want to move to that state.
But I don't want to move like this. Just
he said it's 54 degrees.
Right.
He might be ice skating in his backyard probably.
Soon, huh?
Mm-hmm.
That's winter time out here. But yeah, go ahead and finish what you were saying. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. I was just going to say, basically, I think that Trump just loves, excuse my French, he just loves the black fan, the people who are fans of his. Mm-hmm. I've never seen a conversation with a person who happens to be African American, Latino, or whatever. And if they weren't a fan, like, oh my gosh, man, you're the best thing ever. Get great. Yeah, just all that rhetoric. He's like, yeah, this is great. But if they go to him and say, hey, what do you think about this? And my family, and they voting for him. But if they come to him and step to him with dignity and education, he go, wait, this is not what I don't want this. This is not the thing. And they voting for you. They doing the thing. But if you're not fanning over him, and but now he'll have this conversation with somebody who looks like him, the more educated kind of conversations. But if you happen to be a part of the LGBT or the African American or a woman or whatever, and you're not fanning yourself, it's like, well, he doesn't see you, basically.
Yeah, he doesn't. This was like the girl that stood up for him, the chicken girl. I call her chicken girl, the Chick-fil-A chick. She, I don't know her name. Don't care to. But she was arrested. She was arrested for something. I don't know, probably writing a bad check or something. I have no idea. W sent it to me. I was like, oh, okay. She has a history, But everybody has something, you know what I'm saying? So it's not like well, that's good. You want look, it is what it is.
I'm innocent.
You innocent? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm innocent to a certain degree too.
Right.
I had fun when I was younger. I was living my best life.
Like it's golden.
Huh?
Like it's golden.
Living it like it's golden. Huh?
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a arrest record, but
Yeah.
Red Label knows.
What he know?
I don't know. They dug up my stuff. They know what's up.
Wait a minute. No. We ain't going there.
I ain't ashamed of it.
No, I know.
I had one mistake. That's it.
Yeah.
But it is pretty sad.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's crazy. Here come my dogs. That
Frazier.
Huh?
Mr. Frazier.
Oh, I have two dogs now.
I know. I remember another one.
Biscuit.
Mr. Biscuit.
Come here, Biscuit.
Mm-hmm. I think the next one gonna be called Jam.
That's my new puppy.
He is excited. He not even tired. Too. Most dogs at this time he's sleeping. He big.
Yeah, he Biscuit. I got him for my birthday.
Mr. Biscuit.
But thank you. But it is yeah. Most of us don't have, well, I definitely don't have no 30. I don't have a felony at all.
Me neither. No, have mercy.
I don't have any felonies.
Uh-uh.
So it's like I think we are just in a peculiar time. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It is it's an interesting time.
Yeah.
We are so lucky to be living during this time, because we get to see everything. We've seen everything We are the generation that has literally seen how change and how quickly it changes. We go from not having computers to having computers,
Mm-hmm.
thinking it was going to explode in 2000 to, we had the best music. You think about it. We've had the best generation. And we get to see we got to see the first black president. And now we're getting ready to see the first female president. It's not even about her color. It is that she's a female and she's about to be president of the United States. You can't get we're golden. We've seen everything, the music, the cassette tapes, the CDs, the cell phones, to computers, to, you know what I'm saying? We're about to see robots. We're about to see flying taxis. We've seen everything.
Also, we've seen improvements for our loved ones who suffer from, maybe ALS or diabetes. We've seen some developments, movement forward with those, with medical improvements with different things too. So yeah, this is a good time.
Yeah.
You're like, what are you doing? You got to come. You got to feed me.
He has one blue eye. Look, one blue eye. What about now? You see his gold chain.
Mm-hmm.
So he's not getting fed. It's late. Okay. Well, this was fun. Yeah. And I'm glad you came up, man. We had a great conversation.
We always do. We always do.
We always do. And I appreciate everybody being over here. I really do. I appreciate y'all coming in, supporting the channel as always. Get flying taxis. He said, I bought a crap ton of stock. I saw those. You should see the new robots that SpaceX is putting out. Really, so they better take off. They're supposed to take off. China, I think China.
He got put the name of the stocks in the chat that he wants to take off, so we all can buy them.
No, he needs to send that to you.
What's it again?
He needs to send that to y'all in the. Or go to Marcella's channel. She talk about all this stuff.
Okay.
She talk about finance and stuff.
Miss Marcella. What's so funny? I have what is it? I don't even know what I got, because I actually a couple of years ago I got this woman. I told you about this. She's like she's an accountant, and she does it for me. It's like this thing where they has many options inside of it, and I just put money inside of it, and that's it. I don't really do selections of stuff. I just give it to her and she do it. But I'm always interested in what's hot. I tried the Bitcoin thing, and as I told you, it was a hot mess. I lost like $500. It was like some kind of scam. So I didn't do the Bitcoin thing, but I'm always looking for different, things that's safe. I don't want to into too risky.
I hope Trump does drop out of the race.
Me too.
Yeah, it's a done deal. Yeah. So thanks for coming over.
All righty.
It's getting late. We don't have almost 3 hours.
I know. I know it. All right, I'm gonna let you close out the show, and I'll talk to you soon.
Okay, we'll talk.
All right.
Thanks, man.
All right.
So thank you everyone for coming up, showing up, and being funny as usual. Need some humor. Like I said, guys, we're in a great time in our lives. We get to see everything. And life is good. I think that we've seen the worst of times and we've seen the best of times. And I think we're about to see even the greater of times. And I think that when Kamala is either put into office, my opinion, when Joe Biden steps down, or when she wins the election, which most likely is what's going to happen, it's going to be a great time, and it's just going to call for a huge celebration. And, we'll be celebrating over here. And I hope that you all come to celebrate with me. But before then, I will come back on Sunday, because tomorrow is Friday. Yeah, tomorrow's Friday. So I will be back on Sunday for sure. Just got to have a break. And there's a lot going on, but we will. talk about Project 2025 again. And I have something else to talk about, and that's about election. What's going on in the election and the people still trying to, the election deniers. We'll talk about that again because it's very important to talk about that. And be sure to make sure, check every week that you are registered to vote. Okay? That's very imperative. Need to do that. I'll be doing mine tomorrow. Again, as I checked last week, I'm going to check again tomorrow. So, everyone, y'all have a blessed night. Get some rest. Red Labels has 54 degrees blowing inside his home. I'm going to go lay up on this super fan that I have. It'll be about 54 degrees. I'm in my bed with my fan under my covers and probably get on Temu. So y'all have a good night. I love you guys. Thank you so much for staying here for 3 hours just about and having this conversation. And I hope to see y'all again on Sunday. I love you guys. Y'all stay blessed. Peace out.